Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the High Council. This week here on World Class Bullshitters. I'm your host, Jeff, and with me tonight is Mecha Random 42.
Hello.
And Tom from Midnight's Edge After Dark.
It's an honor to be here as always.
Well, I'm glad to have both of you guys here. So last week I was away. I had to deal with the loss of my grandma. So Mecha and Tom picked up the reins and had an awesome High Council episode. I've heard a lot of great things about it. So I want to thank you guys publicly for taking over the show.
It's all on Tom. He did everything.
Well, Tom, thank you.
Oh, stop. You did
everything.
You hosted it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but you organized it. You did everything behind the scenes, all the hard stuff.
Well, hopefully tonight's show can live up to the hype from last week.
I think everybody showed up for you, though, Mecca.
So as you can tell, folks, we're all a little nasally and congested because it is flu season. I guess we all have the coronavirus, right?
Probably. Gotta eat a lime, and maybe that'll help.
Drink orange juice.
So that's why Suicide Squad 2, a.k.a. Birds of Prey, is failing miserably. Because
totally. Totally. It's going to do like 500% more business next weekend. You watch.
I guarantee it won't, but hey, I'd like to be proven wrong.
You couldn't hear the sarcasm in my voice? Wait, let me do that one more time. It's going to make like 500 times more next week.
There you go. Sorry, I'm a bit congested in my right ear, so I can't hear the bullshit as well. But yeah, so tonight, folks, we're going to be talking about some of the Birds of Prey hilarity. It's hypocrisy as well, but it is hilarity. I've never seen a movie. Well, I take that back. Since Captain Marvel, we haven't seen a film be defended like this so ardently by a group of idiots on the internet. So we're going to have a great time making fun of that. We'll talk about the Oscars and how it's the lowest viewed Oscars ever in terms of ratings. And some.
Well, they say that every year, though. That's pretty much every year it gets lower and lower.
Sooner or later, there's only going to be 2 people watching.
That's called a trend, and eventually no one will be watching. They won't televise it anymore, and then it'll be fun again. So let's start with Birds of Prey. So I didn't see this movie. Did you guys see this movie?
We did.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So I remember seeing the trailer for this a couple months ago when it first dropped. I tend to watch every big comic book or big event trailer just because, it's the trailer. It doesn't hurt anybody. And I saw this and I thought, yay, this looks like Suicide Squad. And I hate Suicide Squad. That is my least favorite DCEU film. Tom, what are your thoughts on Suicide Squad as a film?
I actually didn't hate Suicide Squad, but also at the same time, everything else we'd gotten to that point was garbage. In my opinion, I hated Man of Steel, didn't like BVS, of course. So Suicide Squad was like, oh, whoop-de-doo. And then after the movie, I'm like, well, at least it wasn't dark, and at least it wasn't a total mess. I understood the story. That's not to say it was a good movie, because I couldn't stand Jared Leto as Joker.
Yeah, so to me, Suicide Squad is one of those edgy to be edgy type of movies, and I don't necessarily mean the tone of the film as much as the design work. Like, oh, it's different to be different. It's this.
Mecca calls it Hot Topic, what do you call it?
The Hot Topic crowd.
I think that's the perfect way to describe it, though.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with it if you just want a movie to buy a Funko Pop figure of and to do a cosplay of. There's nothing wrong with that. Just don't blame us when the movie isn't any good and it fails.
Yeah, and now Suicide Squad did not fail. I mean, it made like $700 million, but that was during that whole catfishing period where it's like, hey, this is a DC branded thing. It's going to be cool because comic book movies. And then we all saw them and we're just like, oh. Like, I believe that if that wasn't bad, BVS wasn't bad, and Man of Steel wasn't as bad as it was, Wonder Woman would have done more money at the box office.
Oh, hell yeah. Mm-hmm. And not only that, I think the only reason, the things that helped this movie was, A, you had the Joker. And Joker, there's times when Joker will outsell Batman and merchandise. And then you also had the situation where it was the first time we had live action Harley Quinn on screen. You had Will Smith in the cast. You had all these things going for it. Batman v Superman had just come out, even though it did leave a bad taste in people's mouths. Obviously, they wanted something to cleanse the palate, but Suicide Squad wasn't it.
No. It's from that really weird era where Marvel just beat them at every step. So in 2013, we had Man of Steel. Marvel put out Iron Man 3. I'm going to go with Iron Man 3 is better than Man of Steel. In 2016, we had Suicide Squad and BVS. We also had over on Marvel's side, we had Civil War and Doctor Strange. And Civil War is one of my personal favorites of the whole MCU, and Doctor Strange is a damn good film. But now we were getting to a point where it's like, all right, Joker versus Avengers Endgame or Spider-Man Far From Home. And some people are going to pick Joker because the divide in terms of quality filmmaking and relevancy and just an interesting premise in general, that gap was slowly closing. And then we had Birds of Prey come out, and it's like we're back to 2016 where substance is lacking, style is bad, and now the movie's flopping, and we're going back to the well that was, drank up for Captain Marvel. We're going to the misogynist, the troll, the man baby, all this stuff. They're going back to that. No movie ever works when you use that as a marketing ploy.
And it's funny you mentioned 2016 because that's where we go back to as far as the beginning of this film.
Yeah, it was called Ghostbusters 2016.
Well,
Ground
not just
Zero.
that. I mean, that's when this movie was first conceived of.
Yeah.
It was right on the heels of Suicide Squad. And remember, like you just said, Jeff, it was a big hit in the theaters compared to what it cost. And it didn't really start to get the backlash until shortly thereafter. But it was a hit, in quotations, long enough for them to not only greenlight this, but try to get 2 other Harley Quinn movies off the ground that we obviously have not seen yet, or we don't know if we will ever see. But yeah, I see where this came out of, but they should have took the opportunity when they did all the reshooting this last fall to really kind of change the tone of this movie. Not to get too much into the talk of the film yet, but
well, I'm with you. I don't think we'll ever see another Harley Quinn movie. I know there's what she want to get Gotham City Sirens.
She's going to be in Suicide Squad 3. We have pictures of that already. She got spotted today.
Oh goodness! Yay! More Suicide Squad.
Or did I say 3? I meant Suicide Squad 2. Sorry.
Well, no, it's just called Suicide Squad. They're just rebooting
that's
it.
the thing. Yeah, and I have some hope for this, Jeff, because it is going to be written and directed by
James Gunn.
Yeah. And as you remember, talking about the time that the Suicide Squad came out, they were trying to be Guardians of the Galaxy with that, if you'll recall, with the trailer and everything. Yeah. So this might be a step in the right direction. James Gunn seems to know a little bit more about comics than a lot of the guys who we've had on board so far. He took a group like the Guardians of the Galaxy who nobody's ever heard of, and Mecca would go, huh? If you said that to her 5 years.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Most people would have. So in her defense, it's not like she's the only one. I mean, but still, the point is if there's any hope left for this franchise, that's probably where it lies at this point.
Yeah, you brought up the trailer. The trailer for Suicide Squad was so misleading. You remember the whole fiasco about the trailer company cut it, then they wanted to cut the movie more like the trailer and all this stuff. I mean, it feels like Warner Brothers can never stick to a plan, and when they don't, that's always their downfall.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're just throwing anything to the wall to see what sticks, and I think that they've had this huge hit with Joker, and I think. Now, didn't we say that it was originally like the Harley Quinn movie was going to be PG-13? Like,
I can't confirm that or not.
Oh, okay.
And I don't think so anymore because after seeing the movie, and you didn't really make the parallels at first, but Andre and quite a few other people did, where this was obviously in the wake of Deadpool. This movie clearly follows the Deadpool, I'm going to tell you a story, break the fourth wall, lots of swearing and gore, and instead of it just being a guy, it's Harley.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. But it just feels so weird, and it's such an odd combination, It's this chick flick for I keep saying this all over the place, but it's a chick flick for chicks who don't like this type of flick. They want something a little bit less, I don't know, I guess less Deadpool and more girl talk, hairdresser, slumber party stuff. That's kind of what I got out of it. That was probably the best part of it. And then the action stuff, of course you've got, well, we'll get into the spoilers, but this movie was just a mess.
Well, it makes sense that from a company standpoint that you would want to try to mimic Deadpool because both films made over $780 million each. So, those are huge R-rated films. At one point, wasn't Deadpool the highest grossing R-rated film for just like a brief moment?
I think so. Worldwide anyway, but not domestically. And then Joker, I think, beat them both out of the water. So, which the other one would be the Passion of Christ is the other film that was number one for the longest time.
Yes, I mean Deadpool. You know, from a business standpoint, I can understand why. What is his name? Kevin Tsujihara at Warner Brothers, or it was the guy that was.
I think Hamada's now still in charge. If I'm not
okay,
I'm not mistaken. I might be mistaken now. There's been so many leaders over there. It's like it's almost worse than directors at Lucasfilm.
Well, I'm no expert on the corporate structure of Warner Brothers. See, Warner Brothers would benefit if they had a Kevin Feige or at least one recognizable producer that you could just go, oh, well, this is the guy, this is the DC guy, and this is why this doesn't work. Like they almost had it with Jeff Johns, but then they fired him for. Didn't they shit can him for some movie doing poorly? Like, was it Suicide Squad?
If I remember the order correctly, it was Zack Snyder first, then Ben Affleck, then Johns and Berg, then Hamada. And then Tsujihara is just the head of the company.
Mm.
And when Zack Snyder was making those films, and when they first brought in Ben Affleck to kind of oversee everything, that was when there was like no real structure over at Warner Brothers. And I remember hearing this from my people over there. They're like literally saying that everybody's running around like chickens with their heads cut off, spending money left and right because they knew AT&T was going to come in and pay the bill. And this all kind of came to a culmination with Justice League.
Yeah, that sounds just like what happened with Star Trek Discovery. They were going around spending all of Netflix's money.
Kind of similar in a lot of ways. I mean, the leadership there, of course, being Alex Kurtzman. But again, yeah, you're right, Jeff. I think John Berg or John Bergs and John were kind of their go-to guys for a little bit there. And if you look at it, all the hits they've had outside of Joker have been the movies that they have greenlit. Even if you consider Shazam a somewhat of a hit. Because I think that was the last film then they would have greenlit under their regime. So everything now we're seeing would be under the Hamada regime.
Yeah, and I know like a lot of people in the comment section of my videos are like, how do you think that Harley Quinn and Suicide Squad or Birds of Prey and all this stuff follows Joker? I get that Joker is separate from the regular DCEU timeline. I'm not confused. But from a public standpoint where you're just going DC films, this kind of hurts the public perception because you went from a movie that made $1 billion, it's Oscar-nominated film. Hell, technically it won for best. He won for best actor the other night. So
yeah, and we'll talk a little bit about the Oscars later.
Oh, of course we will. Come on, we did a watch party for him here on the channel.
Oh yes,
it was a mess at times. So anyway, we'll say that for a little later. But no, this is it. This is now your next big thing. I don't think we'll see Black Widow's marketing campaign in a couple months, which, well, that comes out, May? So they'll start ramping it up in March, April. I don't think they're going to start pulling off the whole, it's a feminist film, it's this, it's that, because I think Marvel knows this shit doesn't work. Plus, they have a brand to maintain.
Well, they just announced Spider-Man 3 comes out in 2021, so we have that looking forward to. But no, as far as like the DC thing, I agree. I can't believe they looked at this and went, oh, we got this big hit Joker. This is the perfect idea to follow it up with this. It's like, who didn't put the brakes on? They should have stopped, reevaluated everything.
Was it too late though? Because Joker just came out in October.
Maybe it could have been.
Anticipate it.
It could have been, because you usually have a window of about 4 to 6 months where you can move a movie without it being too much of a hassle. It's always going to be a hassle, but honestly, my opinion is this movie should have went straight to DC streaming.
Yeah, that would have been something to build up the value of that brand or that streaming service, because I have it. I don't even know why I didn't cancel my subscription. I don't use it. I love the cartoons they have on there, but that's about it.
Yeah, they don't seem to have too much for new stuff. It's kind of like the same problem with Disney, is it doesn't seem like they have the newer stuff coming fast enough to keep an audience. It doesn't matter. The DC streaming service is going to get wrapped up into HBO Max anyway, from what I heard. So
I hope it better, because like, why would I keep one if I want the other? And it's not going to, it would just be too messy.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, even CBS is doing the same thing too, which we knew it was going to happen. Go ahead, Sarge.
Well, we talk about the streaming war stuff all the time. It just gets messier and messier by the day. It's like I'm trying to think of a good example. Well, it used to be basic. You walked into a store, you bought a movie. Best Buy's going to have all the new movies. You wanted something a little more niche, you went to a Suncoast Video. Now it's like, oh, I want to stream a movie. Well, it used to be, Netflix will probably have it, or at least you can get the DVD. Then it's like, well, if Netflix doesn't have it, then Hulu probably has it. And then it's Amazon, and it's this, and it's that. And you're at a point where, $200 a month to stream a couple movies you like. Some have crossover with other streaming services. It just gets messy. But I do think, for as dumb as Birds of Prey is, it would entice people to sign up for, hey, like, I like Harley Quinn. I buy the books. I do this. And, that would do more. I think that would do more.
I think they would have got more use out of it, definitely. Because you think about that, though. You're advertising. The only place you can see the new Margot Robbie, Harley Quinn movie is on, DC streaming. Well, of course, you're going to get a big influx of people sign up for that.
They should have made it like a limited series, too. Like a 6-episode series. Just chop it up into half-hour things, maybe.
With that title, hell yes. Which I'm sure we'll get on that subject.
And then they could have
moment.
spent more time on, some of the characters. Oh, we'll get into that. There's so many things wrong. There's so many ways they could have fixed this too. And
that is the biggest crime of this movie. And I see it's getting like decent reviews everywhere. And I'm just like scratching my head going, are these people watching the same movie I did?
They just want to like it. That's the thing. I think a lot of the time, these people who are reviewing it, they either really wanted to like it just because take that Joker, or they really feel like, I have to defend this against these people, and it's a mediocre movie at best. I think it's not the best thing I've seen. It's not the worst thing I've seen, but no, it's not really a good movie. And I don't know why they're voting it up so highly. But
well, not only that, I've heard people in our own circle and people I respect who've actually said, "Oh, it's not that bad. It's not as man-hating as you'd think." And I say it's actually worse than people are actually letting on. I think people are overlooking a lot of things in the film itself. Yeah.
Well, yeah, when we were talking about it yesterday, we were talking with Script Doctor, and he said, it wasn't that bad. And then Tom and I just kind of proceeded to point out every male bash thing. And then it's one of those things where once you notice it, then yeah, you're like, oh yeah, well, that was pretty male bashy.
I did get into an argument over this movie behind the scenes with one of our colleagues.
Oh no.
And I flat out said, name me one effing guy in this movie who isn't a complete ass or a bad guy or an idiot. Besides two said characters that I brought up, which neither have names really, and they're only in the movie for a second, and only one has a major plot point, and it gets overlooked real quickly. Not to get into spoilers, like I said. So I'm like, besides those two guys, name me one character in this entire movie that is one of those, that is a man and not one of those things. And they couldn't.
The hyena?
Well, even if you couldn't, I would have even took the hyena. I would have. And they couldn't even come up with that because the hyena gets what, 2 whole scenes?
Yeah.
There's supposed to be 2 of them, as Jeff probably knows.
Yeah. Here's the thing. If you just watch the 2 videos I put out on Birds of Prey and made fun of it on the podcast, you'd think I dislike Harley Quinn. I actually really like the character of Harley Quinn when she's done right. I like her with the Joker. Admittedly, I don't care about her solo stuff. I like her with Poison Ivy. That's cool. But I do enjoy the character quite a bit. So it kind of bothers me that they take something that has worked for so long and was so cool and unique. I mean, hell, we know that she was created for the cartoon. She was so popular. They created a toy. They put her in the comics. She's in video games. She's, one of DC's probably top 10 most popular characters currently. And you get this, and you get a failure at the box office.
I don't think they knew what they were doing with this. I think they gave Margot Robbie too much creative control, first off. And I think I did not hate the character nearly as much as I thought I would. That's one thing, because I am not a big Harley Quinn fan. I find her to be kind of annoying. I really liked what Margot Robbie did with her, and I liked, what I saw of the character. I should really clarify just the little parts when she's on screen being Harley. I liked her performance as Harley. I can see why she's a very popular actress, but there's so much about the movie that just doesn't work because it's so outdated, in my opinion.
Well, I watched the Oscars and I saw Margot Robbie because she was nominated for whatever that movie was. And I'm thinking to myself, does she actually give a shit right now if Birds of Prey is doing well or not? Like, she's fine.
No,
it's one of those people that got, I don't know, too much power, or they just kind of threw her on there as a producer thing and she didn't know what was up. And, I've heard a lot of praise for this movie. Like, it looks cool. It's this, it's that. I'm like, that's nice, but is it a good story? And I'm not really hearing a lot of that stuff.
It's not a good story, in my opinion. I really don't think.
It's a really simple story.
It's generic. It's very out. It's very 90s sick, or not even 90s, like 50s sitcom, almost 60s, 70s sitcom in some places. But with this R rating that doesn't match. That's the whole thing. There's all these things that clash about it. You got the chick flick, and then where it wants to be a Tarantino movie, and those things clash.
Yeah, I think you're getting a lot of the Tarantino-isms out of the whole "it wants to be Deadpool" thing. But no, I agree with everything both of you guys just said, because honestly, I think Harley's probably in the top 5, if not higher, because I think there's times where she sells just as well as far as merchandise goes as Joker almost now. I could be wrong, but I know especially that was one of the big reasons why I think we got this movie, was Harley sells a lot of merchandise.
She sells merchandise, clothes, cosplay. Every girl wants to cosplay as Harley Quinn, as hot, sexy Harley Quinn, not, Brie Larson in a Mystic Vac outfit. Harley Quinn. I don't know what they were thinking with this movie. I really, really don't.
Yeah, her cosplay probably is the most commonly seen female character at like a convention. Like, I can see Harley Quinns at horror shows.
Mm-hmm.
So she's popular. She's always been popular too. Like, they reinvented her for Suicide Squad. I didn't like the design, but the design caught on. But I don't feel like this design for Birds of Prey is caught on. The gold disco, whatever the hell she's supposed to.
It looks like a 4-year-old who got to dress herself in the morning before school.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm in a movie called Birds of Prey. I'm gonna look like a bird.
Dude, when you do that voice, you sound like Kenny Rogers from Kenny Rogers' Jackass on Mad TV. Oh God. Look it, folks. We can understand like some of the business decisions why these things get greenlit or why they get made, but they just didn't turn out good. Like, DC can make a really good Aquaman movie and a really great Wonder Woman movie, but we can't get Superman, Batman, Harley Quinn, the Joker, and we're taking Joker, Joaquin Phoenix out of that. Right. We're talking just strictly like this DCEU stuff. You can make Shazam awesome and fun and make people that didn't even know about the character care about the character, but you can't do it for your biggest character, Superman. Do you think they're just only trying to entice this newer, younger audience, so they want to throw the older stuff by the wayside and just think, well, the legacy audience will still support it no matter what, and they just kind of put all their eggs in the basket of this new stuff, and it sometimes works, sometimes doesn't? Or you think they're just that dumb?
Somebody said in a comment, I wish I could remember who it was, when we were doing our Birds of Prey review the other day, they said the only time DC makes a good movie is on accident. And that is so true. I mean, whether you liked Aquaman or not, I didn't care for it, but it made money. Shazam I thought was great, but it didn't make much money. So you have the best of both worlds there, I guess. And then Wonder Woman I thought was a horrendous movie, but people enjoyed it and went to see it in the theaters, and good for DC to finally make a Wonder Woman movie.
Yeah, Gal Gadot made that movie, I think. If it was any other actress, I don't think it would have done nearly as well.
But yeah, everything else, you're right, Jeff. Everything else they've touched has turned to shit. Whether you like Man of Steel or not, it's arguably one of the worst Superman stories ever put to screen. It's not a Superman movie by far. Sure, it's a cool superhero movie, but you could make 100 arguments of how it's not a Superman movie. And then you go to Batman v Superman, where you get a really cool Batman, but the rest of the movie around him sucks. Why? Because you had this really sucky movie that came before it that's dragging it down. And then you take what should be a home run and the easiest story in the world to tell and overcomplicate it and make it dark and make it depressing and something nobody really enjoyed and very few who did. And again, you get into this rut. I think it was leadership. I think it goes all back to leadership, like you were saying before, Jeff. They needed somebody to steer the ship, and they didn't have one.
Yeah, I don't know how you fuck up the Justice League. Like, just adapt a couple episodes of the cartoon and live action.
Well, even more so, Batman versus Superman. How hard is it to make a movie where Batman and Superman fight? They're both, their ideologies clash right away. So it's so easy to come up with some kind of scenario where these two are, at each other's throats. You just had, the movie set up properly. You just had Superman destroy half the city with when he was fighting Zod. I mean, obviously Batman's got more than enough reason to hate his ass, and then you just have Lex Luthor in the background pulling the strings, pushing Batman, more hatred towards Superman, and building the xenophobia around Superman, and Superman trying to keep doing the right things, and things just keep going wrong when he finally realizes it's this other guy who's pulling. It's not that hard to do. You could put almost any kind of structure around what I just said.
And the thing is, they had so many moments that could have been great, but I mean, first off, casting choices. Jesse Eisenberg, terrible Lex Luthor idea. Again, they're trying to make The Social Network. Oh, Mark Zuckerberg's this young billionaire with all this power, so we're going to mirror him. That's not Lex Luthor. I'm supposed to believe Lex Luthor could run for president and win, not Jesse Eisenberg. So I think you dropped the ball right there by having a villain who's not imposing, who's stupid. I mean, it's a kid from Zombieland to a lot of people. He's not a kid, never really has been in terms of his his acting career. He's always just kind of been this weird, squirrely little dude. But you messed that up. People can shit on Ben Affleck every day. I thought he was a pretty solid Batman. Not the best, definitely not the worst. And then you just get the movie became a meme. Everyone says about Martha and all this other crap,
right?
But it doesn't. It's so such a congested movie too, like me right now, because you go from Batman and Superman to Doomsday to Wonder Woman. You have the Trinity. Superman dies. It's like, what the fuck did I just watch? And it's overly long. DC is back to where they used to be, and I'm not happy about it. I really, go listen to shows prior to 2020 when we were talking about Joker. Like, oh, cool, man, DC can do anything. I hope they can make a movie that tops Black Widow and does all their shit. Nope, they fucked it up. It's over. When is the next DC film coming out? What we got?
Wonder Woman, and
okay,
that's been getting mixed reactions in the test screenings.
I hope they get that one right. I really do, because I liked the last one, despite its flaws, and I want it to do well. I want these movies to do well. Especially after Birds of Prey, because if Birds of Prey flops, then they can't, and Wonder Woman does well again, then there's just one more thing where we say, actually, no, it's not men. Men are going to see this. It's not the fans. We want strong women characters. Just give us the right ones, and don't make a crappy movie.
Well, and to go back to the PG-13 thing a little bit, and this is the whole kind of breakdown of the audience, and I know Jeff kind of wanted me to bring this up anyway. 53% of the audience was made up of males. So the fact that they're saying that men are the reason this movie's tanking is bullshit. Because obviously men are going now. Granted, not as many men are going that saw, say, movies like Star Wars or Terminator, or even shit like Charlie's Angels. So I guess as far as getting more of the female demographic, this movie was successful on that point. But what it didn't do is put butts in the seats, period. And the other thing they're hanging it up on, besides just men not going, the coronavirus, is that they made a movie that was R-rated and their core demographic audience couldn't get in to see it.
Yeah. Let's make a movie that 13 to 17-year-olds like, with this Harley Quinn character. Oh, but they can't get in without their parents. Lame.
Well, I say this in my next video, but there will be a PG-13 cut of this movie. It may be on streaming, it may be in theaters, who knows? But they'll cut this down to try to. One more thing is what they'll try to do. We'll change the name.
Well, we already saw the desperation. Yeah, with the name change. I was just going to bring that up. There you go.
Yeah. By the way, shout out to the chat. We have over 1,160 people watching right now. So if you could do us a favor, if you're liking what you're hearing right now, hit that thumbs up button to let us know that you enjoy the High Council and all of its forms, all of its iterations, and we'll keep on doing what we're doing. So while that happens, Tom, Mecca, let's start talking about some of the dumber moments of Birds of Prey. Because I know you guys were trying to talk about stuff. You're trying to keep the show structure, which I appreciate. Thank you. But I think it's time that we talk about some of the dumber moments, because this audience wants to know some of the shit that's in this movie.
So spoiler warnings?
Yes. Hey, folks, you weren't going to see the movie anyway, but
not that they're really, there's really not much to spoil. I mean, the bottom line here is you have a movie that's trying to be a female empowerment movie when you miss the key idea that could have been, and they even bring it up enough in the movie where it's why didn't you just make it that way? And that is, the movie starts out with Harley getting the boot from the Joker. He breaks up with her, kicks her ass out. Okay. So then she spends the first quarter of the movie pretending that her and Joker are still together so nobody kills her.
Because she's so strong and amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I think they did that as their attempt to make her look strong and empowered. But that's just not how you do it.
No, what would have made her strong and empowered is she's the one leaving the Joker. And then you have the Joker take Black Mask's place in the film. and have it the whole film be about a struggle between the Joker trying to take over the town. Harley's the only one between him and doing that, so he's out to kill her. And so it's also about her gaining her power back and her strength back and empowering herself throughout the film. No, they didn't make that movie. They even have a line near the end where she's about to go after Black Mask, and he's in like hiding in the fog, and she's like, everybody was afraid of Mr. J when I was the one they should have really been scared of. That's what this movie should have been about. You should have been saying that.
That should have been the opening line. That should have been the opening line, and then they flash back to why.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it should have been, but it should have been her saying that to the Joker.
Exactly.
And then her saying, I don't need you anymore. I'm much better without you. I'm a better person. Whatever it is you want to hang the movie on, that would have worked. But instead we get this movie where she's dependent on the Joker, then she gets wrapped up, chicks. Yeah, and then she gets wrapped up in this convoluted situation over a diamond.
In the sitcom. This is the sitcom part, or one of the sitcom parts, where they're literally waiting for a kid to poop out a diamond after.
Yeah, then it turns into Deadpool 2, which I will give it credit. It did handle the relationship between Harley and the girl better than it did in Deadpool. I couldn't stand that kid in Deadpool 2.
And it made more sense for a girl to be more maternal and be like the big sister or like the fun cousin.
The cool aunt,
that makes more sense because like it was so like with Deadpool 2, one of the things that bothered me about that was it was the kid. Do guys really take that much of an interest in little kids? I mean, it just felt weird. No, it made a lot more sense with this, but it was still so sitcom-y, heavy-handed. Like they literally taped this girl to a toilet. They're buying a gallon of X-Lax scene.
Yeah, and that's the other thing is the movie's so haphazardly edited, and the storytelling is like the Deadpool movies, and that's where Mecca keeps saying Tarantino, because they'll show you something, and then they'll go, wait a minute, I'm getting ahead of myself, and then jump back, and then you spend the next half hour getting back to the point where you were. And we do this about 2-3 times throughout the movie. So by the time you get 2/3 of the way through the movie, you're like, this movie could have been a third as long as it is, by just chopping some of this up and just making it more coherent and linear. You know what I mean? Because a lot of it was just nonsense we didn't need. There's storylines that get set up that go nowhere. Like they say there's somebody who's already inside the police department that's one of Black Mask's men, and that goes nowhere.
Well, there's so many. I mean, I was having a hard time paying attention to it.
Yeah.
And there's so many, it starts and stops, and then it's like, wait a minute, before we show you that, we got a flashback to this other scene. I'm like, oh my God.
Yes.
And Tammy, and and this Huntress character, I think I was annoyed with pretty much every part of her character in there because I'm like, wait a minute. She got nothing to do with anything until the very, very end, this chick.
And she's kind of the entire story.
Yeah, and she's not even like, why didn't they make her the next movie to set up for the next bad guy? And then the next movie is her going and teaming up with Harley. And there was just so many, you had too many characters, and then their flashback backstories, and
you've got Huntress, who's probably the most important person in the entire story, even more so than Harley, because the entire story revolves around her.
It's her revenge, but no. Could we get her revenge movie first? No,
we find out about that 2/3 of the way into the movie when she's finally kind of half-assed introduced into the movie. Yeah, it's really convoluted. And then you got Montoya, who's played by Rosie Perez, and of course every man is bad around her, stealing her cases, talking down to her, treating her like shit.
Stereotypical angry lesbian.
Yep.
Because, representation. There's so much woke crap in this. Not only is her girlfriend Asian, pretty much every man in the office is that's mean to her is a white man, except for the partner that got promoted, because diversity, I guess. And it's just like Tom was saying earlier, every man in this movie is an asshole, dicks them over, does something to sell them out, to do something horrible to these women. And it's so heavy-handed, and it's again very outdated, like Roseanne. It's like an episode of Roseanne that's not funny.
The two most unnecessary scenes in the movie are when Harley, after she gets booted, she finds this little apartment over this little restaurant run by this old Chinese guy.
Because in Hollywood, every Chinese person owns a Chinese shop, because this is for, hey, Asian investors, this one's for you. We're putting Chinese language stuff in our movie, so something for you.
Well, the point is the place ends up getting torched and blown up and shit. Okay, end of story. Shit happens. You could have either killed the guy, left him alive. Doesn't matter. No. They have to add a tag onto that where he fucks Harley over, and he tells her he fucked her over.
Yeah.
You could have just left it as it was. You know, the one good guy in the movie could have been him, but no. You had to make him a bad guy too. And then Black Mask. We've already seen him. Literally cut people's faces off. We realize what the whole plot is, who he is. He's a bad guy. He's supposed to be as bad as Joker kind of thing, and right? So there's this one scene near the end where, well, not quite near the end, but like midway through, closer to the climax, where he makes a woman who's in his dance club get up on the table and be stripped while she's dancing because she laughed off in the corner and thought she was laughing at him. Now the scene is basically there just to make men feel like shit, and that's where I stand on that, because you have more than enough stuff already to let you know as an audience that this guy's a bad guy. You don't need any more of this stuff at this point in the film, and most people agreed with me. It was completely unnecessary and just dragged the movie down, and it completely fucks with your tone. And this is where Mecca was also talking about the tones all over the place. It's like 1 minute it wants to be a jagged horror film, the next minute it wants to be a gritty action movie, the next minute it wants to be a Deadpool comedy. It doesn't know what it wants to be most of the time.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I'd love to have been in that pitch meeting.
I think this is 2 or 3 of those movies mixed together. I think this is like Birds of Prey and Gotham City Sirens like mixed together or something.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, I'm loving the chat right now. People are pitching who should play Lex Luthor. We got Sammo Hung. We had somebody suggested me, Sean Connery, Jack Nicholson. I love it. So, folks, if you're in the chat right now, pitch us your Lex Luthor casting, because I guarantee it's better than Jesse Eisenberg.
No
Somebody
shit.
said Baby Yoda. I thought I'd watch that.
Now, so we were talking about Ewan McGregor a moment ago. He obviously plays Black Mask. Excuse me. So, in all the marketing, every time he was on like the Tonight Show or any kind of just talk show in general, he always started with this unprompted, this is a feminist movie, we're misogyners, we're the evil ones, we're doing all these terrible things. How bad is that stuff that he's saying like actually in the film? Is it addressed?
I think this went through a major cut down. I think that some of the stuff was kind of, they dulled the edges a little bit, and I think they completely cut out because McGregor was going around saying, "Oh yeah, I play a gay bad guy, blah blah blah, this blah 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 that." It's kind of obvious that him and Victor Saz have a relationship in the film, but it's completely cut around.
Yeah, it could be. They could just be really good friends. They could be Bert and Ernie.
Yeah, it's kind of very vague in the film now, but considering what Ewan said in the past and what we've heard about this film, it's also like they changed what was in the diamond from the original version of the film too. Originally, the diamond actually had it had Black Mask's dick pics in it, which I thought would have been much funnier. And now it's just generic bank account numbers which attach to the Huntress character, which, okay, fine, but you could have just gave her own movie and took her out of this completely.
They should have. She needed her own movie because she was just so. It's kind of like she ruined the movie just by being like, because she kind of stopped it every time. I'm like, oh, so this is like a Boondock Saints sort of. Well, where's her movie? Why are we?
Well, they even try and give her a bit, which is bad. It's like not everybody
God.
needs a bit. Like that's the other thing, is everybody has like at least one comedy bit and throughout the movie, and her bit is that everybody keeps calling her the crossbow killer, so she gets pissed. She's like, "It's Huntress." That's her thing. So yeah, everybody has a little bit.
And she's a whiny, obnoxious brat too. And very awkward and weird and quirky.
And Harley's only real bit throughout the movie is that fucking sandwich. There's this in the beginning of the movie, she goes to get the sandwich, and that's when Montoya runs into her and these other people who run into her who are trying to kill her and shit. So she doesn't get to eat the sandwich. So yeah.
Well, yeah, and this is why I say they're trying to make a Tarantino movie, because they show the sandwich scene, which happens kind of in the middle of the movie, and then they flash back to all the people who end up around her when she loses the sandwich.
Yeah. So yeah, at that point you are right. That is kind of like a Tarantino kind of thing, or a Coen Brothers kind of thing they were trying to do.
But Simpsons did it better.
Yes, Simpsons did it better. Bravo.
I think anything did it better. This was just it was so all over the place, and it was kind of painful to sit through, and it was hard to pay attention to in a lot of places. It was too dark, too heavy-handed with the male bashing. It was the R-rated stuff was just kind of out of place. It should have been a PG-13 romp. It should have been a lot funnier than it was. It should have been so gory. The F-bombs they probably could have edited around to keep it PG-13.
Oh, I'm sure they did 2 different versions.
And they should have just kept it that, and then they would have got a much bigger box office. I think they're banking on Valentine's Day this weekend and having a lot of couples go see it this weekend because the reviews are good. Problem is, more couples are going to go see Sonic because people now who are in relationships, hooking up or whatever, probably played the games back when they were kids, and they're going to have that in common and go see it more so than a Harley Quinn movie.
Plus, it has more buzz than this ever did.
Yeah.
Dude, at LAX airport, there's this like long walkway, one of those, conveyor belt walkway things that you get to the different terminals. Mm-hmm. It's nothing but one giant Sonic the Hedgehog ad. I see Sonic the Hedgehog billboards, bus stations, everything. That movie, I'm not that interested in it because I never really liked Sonic. Let me rephrase that. I didn't have a Sega as a kid. I had a Nintendo, Super Nintendo, so Mario was always my shit. But I watched the Sonic cartoon, and I thought if this movie would have had Jaleel White do the voice of Sonic, it would have been like a guaranteed.
We were just saying that last night.
I loved that cartoon as a kid. Not the serious one. I liked the Adventures of Sonic that had the chicken robot and the green like tank robot with the drill nose. But like Sonic is everywhere. Birds of Prey, I've seen posters and stuff out here. It's a different thing, but still, Sonic is everywhere. And I think that's the perfect transition because I've been dying to talk about this. You guys know the story we're going to next, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to talk about people are saying Mario's better than Sonic. I hated Sonic Underground. I used to like that cartoon. Sorry, I'm getting on a tangent here. Talking about shit that I liked as a kid. So where is it at? Oh my God. So Sonic the Hedgehog fans are being attacked by Birds of Prey fans. So yeah, it's funny.
Raylo's 2.0, right?
This is Raylo's 2.0 right here. I mean, I can understand if you're like Team Sonic or Team Harley Quinn or Team The Gentleman, or you want to see Underwater again or something. Like, you have a movie, people get behind stuff. It's like the console wars. Are you a Nintendo kid? Are you a Sega kid? Are you a PlayStation kid? An Xbox kid? It's cool. You like your shit. Yeah, you go online, you say, well, my Xbox has a 4K Blu-ray player and your PS4 doesn't. Or you joke about how the Switch has, the best first party or something. You keep your fan war ignited. But nobody goes nuclear like they did with this shit.
Mm-hmm. I love that headline. Harley Quinn fans are going to war with Sonic on Twitter because, of course, they are.
Yeah. So, folks, I don't know.
That's where we've gotten.
This is society right now. This is 2020. You'd think we'd have flying cars, Universal. What's that thing?
They fly now?
Yeah, they don't fly now.
Bad Tom.
No, but we have people making up fake Twitter accounts to tear down a Sonic the Hedgehog movie. So, listen to this story, folks.
Jealousy.
Believe me, they can't handle it because, look, Birds of Prey is not going to have this big slingshot weekend where it's like, it was failure and now it's a huge hit because of, whatever. No. Kids are going to go see Sonic. Parents are going to go, adults may go see Sonic because of curiosity. And you also have that portion of the audience that actually will go see Sonic because Paramount listened to the fans. You had the ugly Sonic. Now you have one of the best looking renditions of Sonic you could possibly have on film. They went back, they fixed it. And I think some people in the fandom menace or out there in general were like, well, they listen to fans. I'm going to throw them a bone. I'm going to go check out this movie. So this movie is good. Sonic's going to beat this movie next weekend. That's my guess. That is my guess.
Oh, I can guarantee it.
I think so. I think it's going to do at least 60, if not a lot more than that, and surprise everybody. Because even people like my son who don't watch movies, he's interested in this because he's into video games, and he's been talking about this for a while. And I've been getting a lot of stuff from people on this, which sometimes that can be a factor in like whether or not a movie's going to do well. If I get a bunch of people, sending me stuff about a movie all the time, and this has been a pretty constant stream of stuff from the few Sonic fans we got in the audience that connected with me. So
yeah, like this is the type of movie I might go see on a Sunday afternoon if I had literally nothing else to do and I had all my channel work done. But I don't know, it looks cool. Here, you guys can look at a picture of Sonic the Hedgehog while we read the stupidity that is 2.0. There you go.
Well, because some of them are pretty bad, aren't they?
Yeah, I'm not going to show and read some of these tweets.
Yeah,
They are fucked up. Put it like that. This is some like next level shit. This is like what they blame the fandom menace of doing, but like this is actually, we do the exact opposite. But hey, whatever. Let's listen to this. So, fans of Sonic the Hedgehog and DC comic movie universe are going to war on Twitter because the world is stupid, of course. If you want your daily dose of stupid, here it is. Fans of DC Comics and the new Harley Quinn-led Birds of Prey movie have gone to war with Sonic the Hedgehog on Twitter, claiming the new Sonic movie contains racism and homophobic slurs, among other things. We haven't yet seen the Sonic movie, but we're going ahead and guess that the PG-rated film isn't packed with the gross and insulting stuff, but the Harley Quinn fans have vested interest in denying or denting Sonic's chances at the box office, as Birds of Prey made its debut as the lowest-earning DC Universe movie, despite by all accounts it being a pretty good time. The response of the DC and Harley Quinn fan base is to trash the next biggest movie coming out. That's Sonic, in the hopes that an audience driven away from that might give Birds of Prey a box office surge. Thus, the official Sonic movie hashtag is flooded with people saying the film is a hyperactive, superpowered hedgehog that is also racist and homophobic, and that the parents should take their kids to see the R-rated Birds of Prey instead. Makes sense. Sonic fans are now responding in kind, kicking back with tweets arguing just how wholesome Sonic is, which he is. But it's still all very silly. There we go. So the hashtag is Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Now I'm going to read some of these. I'm not going to joke. Some are really dumb, but let's see if you guys can get the trend right now. So blind rights activist says, I took my husband and 2 sons to go see hashtag Sonic movie and was appalled to hear homophobic slurs used throughout the movie. Luckily, Birds of Prey was showing in the next room and my family had a much better experience. So
where's Sonic playing already?
Yeah, that's the first problem. But hey,
they're not too bright, are they?
Now, it's funny how Ulysses had a much similar experience. They tweeted, I took my husband and 2 sons to go see the Sonic movie and was appalled to hear homophobic slurs used throughout the movie. Luckily, Birds of Prey was showing in the next room and my family had a much better experience.
Yeah, because I'm sure there's tons of homophobic slurs in Sonic. I remember Sonic 2, the game, was really bad about that.
I know. Tails, he's just one walking censor. That's it. Just fucking.
Well, and I thought that Tails,
the ESRB, right? That's
what I thought. Tails actually was transgender or something like that too.
Oh, so. Ahead of its time, man.
Of course. I now remember when we were kids, we had that fight back and forth whether or not Tails was a girl or a boy all the time.
I just remember watching the cartoon and thinking, like, he's got a really lame voice.
Yeah, well, then that happened.
Baylor says, since my kids walked out mid-screening of the Sonic movie without me, I went to go look for them. I found them in the Birds of Prey screening instead.
Bullshit! Yeah, unless your kids are, even if this was a true story, unless your kids are like 14, I don't buy it.
No, not at all. You get the trend. Hold on, there are more. It says, well, I'm not going to read the next one because here's just a base one. It says, whatever you do, do not watch the hashtag Sonic movie, because the earlier tweet says, I went to watch the Sonic movie with my little brother and there were a few really racist and homophobic scenes. Because of that, we walked out and went to see Birds of Prey and we loved it. My brother said that we should all be gay and do crime.
Oh my God. Did that really say that?
That's a tweet from Ivana. Then, let's see if this sounds familiar. Florence Pugh's Oscar says, I took my husband and 2 sons to go see hashtag Sonic movie. It was appalled to hear homophobic slurs throughout the movie. Luckily, Birds of Prey was showing in the next room and my family had a much better experience.
Please tell me there's one of these where the dad leaves the family and goes gay. I want to see that episode.
I think I'm actually gonna close out of this. I'm just gonna type in hashtag Sonic movie and see what pops up right now.
Oh my gosh.
There's a ton of these tweets.
Oh no.
Yes.
Didn't they realize when they were hiring all of these marketing accounts, in my opinion anyway, I gotta clarify, that you might want to tell them when the movie starts and let them know so they won't get caught. Red Hand.
Let me double check because I'm pretty sure this isn't playing anywhere in the U.S. or in the world yet, let alone the U.S.
Well, nowhere where anybody would be taking their family to see it and be able to because it would be like a critic only sort of press screening. It wouldn't be like, yeah, come in, take your family.
So this is the perfect tweet for me. It's a Joker meme. It says, Sonic movie fans, shut the fuck up, and Salty Birds of Prey fans.
No, it doesn't start anywhere until at least tomorrow. And that's in France and South Korea and the Philippines.
So, yes, this campaign is ultimately futile, but it's funny, to say the least. I mean, we live in a fucking world where you try to weaponize Sonic the Hedgehog to build up a Harley Quinn movie. A character who's killed countless people on, cartoons, video games, now a movie. And it's Sonic the Hedgehog who's killed no one. Who's a blue hedgehog. I don't get it.
He just runs. I mean, he might promote drug use by, being on speed, but...
Well, and not to, and again, to reiterate what Mecca said, allegedly, this company they hired to do this trolling... it's horrible. I'm sorry.
This is the same type of dummies who get on with the Captain Marvel, tweets, and they're like, "Oh, well, you should die because you didn't like Captain Marvel, and I'm gonna pour bleach in your eyes and stuff."
Well, my guess is they come from a country where being gay is a very bad thing. That's probably obvious. And not only that, it just the idea that they think anybody would believe them that a PG movie about a hedgehog that runs really fast and Cyclops is going to probably be in any way, shape, or form racist or homophobic. I don't understand where
it's either a marketing account or a very young child on there, like a 13-year-old girl getting upset, or she might have the mental capacity of one.
Well, it's all one big troll game, but I just can't believe that. Like,
you'd think they'd find something better. Is my point I was getting to.
I don't know. I love laughing at the stupidity of all this. Now, this to me was like the final nail in the coffin. Now, you heard about the misogyny stuff, right? From the guy that used to work for Marvel Comics. That really pissed me off. Jerry Conway, the guy who created the Punisher and really is a prominent name in Spider-Man lore, is pulling the whole, it's misogyny, it's political, it's this, it's that. It's like, dude, shut up. You're out of touch. You've created some great stuff, but I don't think this stuff flies right now. So, man, people really want to talk about Sonic right now in the chat. Holy shit.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's going to surprise everybody. I've been hearing so much and seeing a lot of, people talking about it. And every time something Sonic comes up, it's and Andre's really into it. I'm just like, wow. All right. I played it as a kid. I never was like, I watched the cartoons here and there. I was never like a super fan, but damn.
I think what I'm going to do is I have Sonic Mania on the Switch. I think I'm going to bust out the Switch this weekend and play Sonic Mania or something for fun.
Well, I got that Sega Genesis Mini that has I think Sonic 1 and 2 on it, if not 3 of the games. I think there is.
Yeah, I've got one. I don't never like the Sonic games. I don't know.
They were all right.
Well, I didn't have a Sega as a kid, so that was part of it. And then I tried to play Sonic Mania, and I didn't get the hang of it. I mean, the controls are not instinctive for me, and I don't know. I don't think I'm young enough anymore to be able to play the muscle memory games where you need a lot of dexterity. That's what it felt like to me. But
well, when
good.
No, go ahead. It was just
no. I was going off on a tangent. Keep going.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, growing up, I didn't have a Sega Genesis till they went down in price, but, we had our group of friends where between all of us, we had, the Super Nintendo and Sega and all that kind of stuff. So we all played at each other's houses and stuff like that, so I'm familiar with it.
That really was, the best generation to, be the right age in. PlayStation and Nintendo 64, and I guess you can lump in, the Saturn or the Dreamcast into that generation. I don't know how you want to phrase it, but, that was a fun generation, but the 16-bit era was probably the best gaming era ever. You had some of the best games ever coming out all the time. Super Nintendo had a great lineup. Sega Genesis had a great lineup. They were close too, right, in terms of sales?
I think so until Super Nintendo just jumped way ahead, and it just never stopped from what I recall.
Well, have you guys ever heard? There's a man, Daniel. I want to give him a shout out for bringing up Sonichu. Have you guys ever heard of Sonichu?
Mm-mm.
So Sonichu is this weird fan fiction. I'm not going to go into it now. I think I'll go into it on the podcast tomorrow night. So, folks, our show, World Class Bullshitters, is tomorrow night at 8:30 here on the channel. So Thursday, I have to go back to Ohio. So we're going to do the show on Wednesday, and then we'll be back in the regular rotation the following week. But my point is, Sonichu is this weird fan creation, and it's created by a guy named Chris Chan. And like the story behind the creation of it is so weird, and like this guy's life is, you should be making a movie on it. It's very like Arthur Fleck-like in a way. So Mecca, Tom, if you get a chance, everybody in the chat actually, just Google Sonichu and read up on it and read about the guy that made it. It's fucking weird. Yeah, people are in the chat like, oh god, not Sonichu.
I was gonna say, some people brought it up already. I wasn't sure what it was, but yeah, that's interesting.
It's weird. Yes, Cosmo. Oh no, not Sonichu. We're not going to cover it here. Oh, you live close to that guy. Well, do not engage.
But so speaking of crazy, anyway, yeah, we were talking about these
crazy tweets.
Yeah.
I'm laughing at these too hard. Like, apparently the Sonic fans are trying to shut it down quickly, but
I just don't see the connection other than they think it's going to help with the second weekend. And I do believe that there's some, validity to the allegations that Mecca and I are kind of, I don't know the word I'm looking for, making here, I guess, for the easiest term. And that is because what are they trying to do? They're trying to reinvent this movie for its second weekend because they hope it has some legs. It needs to have legs. Why else would you change the title midstream? When I hate to break it to their little hearts, every marquee that already has the name of this movie on it isn't going to change because they already have just Birds of Prey on it. Unless you specifically are told by somebody to go out there and change it, they're not going to change it to Harley Quinn Birds of Prey.
I think it's less on the marquee and more on the like Fandango, Rotten Tomatoes.
I get that. I get that. And like I say, like you the little electronic signs or whatever above the theater is still going to be BOP or Birds of Prey. It's not going to change. I mean, of course, like you said, it's more so in the, on the internet and things like that. But what's the point? Every time a movie does this, it changes its name. It never seems to go well. I mean, I don't get it.
Well, so I got this video in production. I'm going to put it out tomorrow. But I made the Live, Die, Repeat comparison. The movie Edge of Tomorrow.
I was just going to bring that up. Yeah, and it's Warner Brothers there too, wasn't it?
Yes, but here's the thing, Tom. The difference is it's a 4-month gap between theatrical and home video. They changed the name. I've never seen a movie change its name over the course of a weekend.
Well, it's because they have to. And there's a lot of people
failing so hard, I think, and it's just gonna die next weekend, I think.
Because even Andre's like, oh, it might make it, and I said, no, Andre, I don't think it's gonna. There's only one way this movie makes any money, and that's if it just continues to keep going and going. And I don't think it's as good as, because you get a lot of people who are gonna go, and if they do go anyway, they're gonna see it's not as good as everybody's boasting. I mean, it's getting 80% on Rotten Tomatoes and shit, and I'm not trying to quote them as any kind of end all be all.
No, but when you go to like movietickets.com, it shows the Rotten Tomato score right on there so that people like even subconsciously.
That's my point. It's about the optics. Yeah, it's about the optics of it to where it's like, oh, people see that and they've been hearing, oh, it's not as bad as you think. And sure, you could probably find some enjoyment in this movie, but trust me, it's nothing you're going to want to spend $20 on to go see in the theater. You're better off waiting for Redbox, folks. I mean, seriously on this one. Yeah, it may not be as bad as Mecca and I are saying to most people or some people, but it isn't that great either. It's a low bar to leap over when it comes to Suicide Squad and what we've gotten out of DC.
Well, I think this tweet kind of sums up this whole situation with Sonic. I mean, I find it hilarious. But this is what they say. Hey, Birds of Prey stands, let me say this. Look, we didn't shit on your movie. We were just having fun sharing our love for Sonic, just like how you do the same for Birds of Prey. Then why the fuck y'all suddenly start to shit on it? We did nothing to you. Of course, box office. So, yep, this is not going to work.
Yes, I'm old James the Gooner. I just said Redbox. I used to
Redbox.
Yeah, what's a Redbox?
What's a rerun? Find out.
It's all these movies that they keep putting in the theaters every year. They're just a rerun of the last movie.
Pretty much. Yeah, Yeah, Coffee Hunter, you're right though. Yeah, Edge of Tomorrow was changed for the home video release, but it's now referred to as that, like on all when you go to buy it on streaming services and stuff. It's called Live Die Repeat. But I'm saying I've never seen a movie change its name while in theaters out for 4 days. So whatever. Let's see.
Well, they also did that with Cats or something similar anyway, where they updated the CGI because it was so bad.
Right. Well, the last time I remember a movie changing its name before this, at least I'm sure it's happened, but to my knowledge, was when they changed The Adventures of Joe Dirt just to Joe Dirt, and that was when it came to video, just to simplify it, I think. Or most people were already calling it Joe Dirt. So for some reason on video, it's just called Joe Dirt.
What was the original title?
The Adventures of Joe Dirt.
I did not even know it was called that. I always just called it Joe Dirt.
Yeah, no, in theaters it was called The Advent, and he even says it on the title in the movie still, I believe.
That's a fun movie. Underrated.
Definitely.
So
the sequel, avoid the sequel at all costs.
I tried. People are saying Revenge of the Jedi changed the name. Yes, Revenge of the Jedi did change the name, but it never came out as Revenge of the Jedi.
Right, they barely,
There's the trailer for it. There's a poster, but the actual theatrical film was always Return of the Jedi. So while that is true, it was Revenge of the Jedi for a minute before it ever came out. Like, was it May 25th, 1983, when it hit theaters across America? Because I think that was the first one that got the super wide release. It was always Return of the Jedi. So Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn, which is a terrible title. It's like Borat. Remember how Borat wasn't just called Borat? It's actually got a super long title.
Yeah, and that was on purpose too, but that was for comedic reasons.
Oh, of course it is. But I mean, the actual name of Borat is Borat, Cultural Learnings of America for Make Benefit Glorious Nation of Kazakhstan.
Yeah.
More commonly known as simply Borat. So,
exactly. Well, and they knew that was the case, and they did that on purpose. This, on the other hand, somebody thought it was a good idea to go to theaters with this title. Nobody stopped them prior to the. I mean, we've had how many trailers where we've had so many people going, God, that's the dumbest name I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they should just called it Harley Quinn. Just call it Harley.
I get it. It's a deep cut because, for those who know the comic, it will, okay, I know that, but come on, it's stupid. Everybody's calling it Birds of Prey as it is now. And the problem you have with that is it doesn't even resemble Birds of Prey at all. And then now you're calling it Harley Quinn Birds of Prey. How is that going to fix anything? If anything, you're just going to tarnish Harley Quinn even further.
Well, too, a lot of folks in the chat were talking about like international titles for films. I feel like that's a different thing though for different markets.
Oh yeah,
that's more of a translation issue. And
yeah, well, like the oldest famous one was Jaws 2, because of the way the French, the work to the title would have been like merde, because of the way it sounded, or whatever, which is shit in French. So they had to change it to the second Jaws or something like that. I mean, that's a subtle change, but that's an example I'm getting at it. Sometimes you'll have a situation where something doesn't translate well, like Mecca was saying, or like Captain America. Nobody knew who the fuck Captain America was outside of America in a few places, really, unless you were like a diehard comic fan. So that's why in most places it was just called the First Avenger.
By the way, folks, we're going to be talking about the Rose Tico stuff next because she's actually been on the news twice this week, but I want to read some of the super chats from our friends out there.
And I apologize for the F word. I know you don't really care, but
I don't care at all, man. Our friend Matt G says, "Is Ghostbusters 2016 still the worst woke film?"
Probably.
It's a bad movie. It's just dumb. Like when I watched that for the channel over on Patreon, I didn't go, "Oh, it's bad because women." I went, "This is not funny. Comedies are supposed to be funny." I've seen Ghostbusters probably 200 times. I still laugh at parts. So I mean.
Oh, we could probably make each other get going just quoting lines, probably, yeah.
I know, right? I mean, the part that always cracks me up is when they walk out of the bank and Egon's doing the calculations on the interest rate. You didn't even try to talk him down or whatever he says. Oh my God. See, there we go. It's a great fucking movie.
Reminds me of the time you tried to drill a hole in your head.
It would have worked if you wouldn't have stopped me or something like that.
Yeah, that would have worked if you wouldn't have stopped me.
Do you think the Afterlife's going to be a big hit, Ghostbusters Afterlife?
I hope so, and I hope it's good. I do. I truly do. It's what we need. It's the refreshment we need after all these bombs and I think we finally got our point across with the last few movies. Even, most people leave out The Rise of Skywalker, but I'll say, we already had 3 that were hit pretty hard by this business, and then look at what just happened to Birds of Prey. And you can't blame that on anything more than the woke mentality going into the advertising and the way it's being toted by the stars and that
and the
bullshit.
articles. It's more, and people always
media,
like to say semantics of, okay, is it marketing or is it media? And I always say that they're exactly the same thing, because you're going to see an article pop up on your phone that's going to remind you the movie's out, and that is an advertisement for the movie, in my opinion. And of course, I'm always right. So that's well, at least about this one. And I get tired of people.
And Andre likes to express this a lot too. There is this muddied line now, especially in the last probably decade, where it's very, you think you're reading an article, but it's really just an advertisement. The studio paid to have this planted story, so you're reading it, you're reminded of the movie, it touches on some point they think, and it's all demographics in your phone or your computer telling them that you're going to be interested in this because of something else you searched. And again, we live in this age where everything is directed at somebody, and so when something like this fails, it's difficult for them to take that failure, because it should have been something when it wasn't. And I think that they're scratching their heads, and the reason is those who spend the most time on like the internet and Twitter and shit like that are the ones who are toting this kind of bullshit, but they don't go to see these movies. The people who actually have lives, or actually do give a shit about these things, aren't the ones sitting on Twitter all day. They aren't the ones being keyboard warriors trying to fight for some cause they don't understand.
No, the people who do go see these movies are the people who just see the little notification pop up on their phone that, hey, Ewan McGregor gave an interview to Deadline about the misogyny in this movie that he's in, and I'm going to skip that movie because I don't really care that much, and I might check the next Ewan McGregor movie out, but I don't care about Harley Quinn, and I don't care about this male bashing stuff. So yeah, that's an ad for your movie right there.
Raiders of the Lost Flicks, give him a check. Raiders of the Lost Flicks, and I think you guys should check him out over on YouTube. He's a cool dude. Says name changes can't fix stupid. The movie is still meh. Matt G says the first High Council since Gary became leader of Fandom Menace, new era.
I got to remind everybody, Cecil still won the popular vote.
There was a vote?
Yeah. You missed it.
I mean, they can claim leadership all they want. I mean, I'm still queen.
Well, yeah, that's true.
I was still the first channel, so
that's true.
We're just here. This started back the other night because Jeremy said that. He kept giving him shit, Gary, and I said, you keep bringing this up, but I'm sorry to tell everybody and remind everybody that Cecil did win the popular, just to start the joke, So it's been hashtag Cecil won the popular vote.
Well, Cecil is love, so Cecil has my vote. Shit, I'll vote for Cecil over myself.
No shit, right? I think we'd all be better off if Cecil was the leader of the Phantom. He's got my vote.
I've hung out with Cecil quite a few, well, not quite a few, just a few times. He's really fucking fun.
I don't think he knows I exist. I've been on like 2 or 3 panels with him. I really don't think he even remembers me or my name half the time. He's probably, he's just so oblivious to me. I'm just like around. But I love his shit. He's hilarious. He makes me laugh every time. Yeah,
I'm trying to get him to come on here to promote his book. So whenever he wants to, he always has a platform. Let's see. Dr. Coffin says, thanks for making me watch the Oscars. Lots of laughs. Yeah, folks, we did an Oscar watch party. You can find the link in our on our Facebook page, on our Twitter. We had to delist it due to the stupid algorithm changes because YouTube keeps making these changes right now. We're just trying to stay ahead of it. Yeah, it's all because they're changing the layout. You guys will notice this. You'll have a great month on YouTube, and all of a sudden everything bottoms out, and you go, what happened? And it just turns out they're updating the website so people don't hear from you. And then they fix it, and then everything goes back to good. And then a small change happens, and you lose out.
You lose it again, yeah. That's exactly where I get.
Yeah, basically, if we didn't have the main channel, After Dark would be in big trouble this month.
Yeah,
it's January too. January, I hate complaining in January because every January it just tanks, but
it was fine up until like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, when they started tinkering with stuff, or a week ago or whatever it was. Anna is clearly the leader. Yeah, I don't think anybody would argue with Anna. You got a point.
I don't know.
Yeah. I gotta talk to her. Anyway, Robot Shulman, what's up, Rob?
What up?
Thanks for joining us, man.
Oh yeah, this is. Actually, I just got done working on the script to send it to Andre for the new video, and we're gonna find out how good it is. So, yeah. So
We were
finding
just
out
talking about Sonic, yeah.
Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah. Freaking. I probably shouldn't give too much away, but I was looking into the failed pitches for different Sonic movies.
Ooh.
Yeah, one of them actually, and I sent you the tweet along with that. The guy who used to write for the Sonic the Animated Series, Ben Hurst, had his pitch sabotaged, allegedly, we should say allegedly, by another guy, by an Archie Comics writer creator. And this was a weird. You can find the proof of concept he did, the video pitch on YouTube. I'm like, really? This is what you thought would be a good idea? Oh man,
Mario Brothers level shit.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. But it was gonna be a CGI animated movie, but still, I mean, for a Sonic movie, I'm like, not exactly a crowd pleaser. This would have been so
Almost unreal.
Yeah. So
the Mario fans will get that reference, but anyway.
Okay. So
yeah, I'm interested if that's going to be the talk of the town next week, Sonic, and how everyone liked it or how it made a bunch of money. I'm going to follow Birds of Prey just personally and see how how it falls, but how they're trying to blame people, because the blame game is the best part of when these movies underperform. Not that the movie failed; it's that they can't be like, it opened to bad reviews and bad box office, and then it quietly died a nice death.
Well,
no, it's fuck everybody. It's your fault, not ours.
I just got to tell Joseph Valencia. Yeah, I couldn't get into too great a detail on it because there's not a lot of details about that incident. But I did cover it as best as within the framework of what we're doing. So yeah, so it'll be interesting. It's an interesting read. So
Speaking of, he got the reference too.
But yeah, the whole blame. Obviously, people get fired, and they don't want. Nobody wants to take the old saying, "The buck stops here." And he goes, "Well, all of our internal tracking said this was a surefire hit. I don't know what went wrong. Yeah, it's Bill's fault. Bill from the mailroom. Yeah, he didn't get that document to us.
Fire him. Fire Bill. That's what I get out of it.
It's my fault.
But I like Bill. He brings the good lunches I steal.
So Dr. Coffin Nails says Warner Brothers can't find their ass in a hall of mirrors.
No.
It's not an inaccurate statement, dude.
What would Dave Chappelle think of Birds of Prey? Tom?
Fucking stupid.
That's it?
Just fucking stupid.
It was.
Well, I'm not going to go watch it. I said I was as a joke, and I planned to on Saturday, but I fell asleep. So
Andre made us.
That's a better use of your time, I think.
Andre made us watch it.
I made the other guys from the podcast go to watch it, so don't worry. I'm as evil as he is.
Okay,
it's all right, Rob.
Wanderer says, evidently there are actually some people who are trying to prop up Birds of Prey by tearing down the Sonic movie, and it's as pathetic as it sounds. Well, Wanderer, we just covered that. It is pathetic.
Yeah. In all fairness, he probably sent that near the beginning of the show. Yeah,
he did at 9:14. We're about an hour behind on these because we were kind of going in on the whole Birds of Prey thing. It's a hot topic. I just, from the minute I heard Ewan McGregor say that shit about how it's a feminist movie, I was like, yep, this is going to be the next one to talk about because it's going to be a shit show.
It's definitely a hot topic, pun intended.
Well, dude, yeah, no pun intended. But, dude, they all follow the same trend. It's Ghostbusters, Terminator, Dark Fate, Charlie's Angels, Birds of Prey. That they all go the same way because they're either sequels, remakes, reboots of unwanted things that nobody cares about. So to, cling to relevancy, they get with the most modern way to promote a movie, which is badly. And then they all end up as jokes. I mean, Ghostbusters is the most successful, but it's still considered a failure by Sony. I mean, you remember what Dan Aykroyd said, right? How Paul Feig wouldn't be welcomed on the studio lot again. And the funny things too, like with movies, they do it. It's a one and done. It usually flops and fizzles out. With TV, they'll do it for seasons and seasons. Like with Doctor Who, they're pushing that shit. Star Trek stuff, they're pushing that shit for multiple seasons. Has Picard gotten better?
No,
No.
Hell no.
Gotten worse.
And from what we've heard, this coming episode, it's supposed to fall off a cliff.
Oh,
And we've already
yeah,
fallen
that's
off
fun.
3 small cliffs, so this is just going to be, yeah. No, and we've already seen the, well, we've heard some rumors. If you watch the recent Doomcock video, obviously we've all heard those rumors. And then, you know, they're all of a sudden, and Mecca notices this too quite a bit, and she'll get a lot of these sent to her because these people want us to report on these.
Oh yeah.
And that's these super positive Star Trek stories that come out of papers or websites that nobody's ever heard of. And it's and it's always like season 4 and 5 of Discovery greenlit.
what the hell?
No, they don't
Exactly.
know until because the ones that I've heard from my sources, and I haven't watched Doomcock's video yet, but the ones from I've heard is that season 3 was kind of they wrapped season 3, I believe, or they're just finishing up. They have not struck any sets or anything, but they don't have a call sheet for when season 4 is going to happen. So that's just kind of on, we don't know yet. That's just up in limbo.
I've been hearing a lot of strong rumors that Amazon's pissed at the numbers for Picard now, because I guess it dropped off a cliff.
Oh,
Speaking of
yeah.
dropping off cliffs,
Everybody I've talked to who's liked it or was kind of indifferent after episode 2 were like, "Oh yeah, screw this show."
Yeah,
We're
Jeff,
out.
Jeff, you'll notice this too, man. You ever notice that the people who actually now we're not saying you're wrong for liking Picard or Star Trek Discovery or whatever you like. You like what you like, but have you ever noticed that there's always a pattern? Well, I've never seen Star Trek, but this is the best Star Trek series ever. Well, how the fuck would you know? Seriously. I don't like Ghostbusters, but Ghostbusters 2016 is the best Ghostbusters movie ever. Now, go fuck off. How do you know? You have no reference for how good it can be.
I'm liking the anger, man. Keep it up.
well, yeah, and those same
Wait till
articles,
I
the
get
other
going.
side, yeah, the other sides of those articles, like the Ghostbusters and Star Trek ones, are the ones that are like, oh well, the next generation was always problematic, or the original series always really sucked. We just
that was
didn't know it.
misogynistic.
Yeah, and then you
There
have
was-
this.
Yeah, there was. Remember that thing? Oh well, we're not going to build cardboard and plywood sets in 2017.
What do you
what
think
did
they're
they
made
show?
of?
Yeah, and they're showing them build plywood and cardboard sets.
Just
I'm like-
because they spend a lot more money on this than they did the original series in TNG, yeah.
No, not really.
But we've seen the same thing in Star Wars. We've seen the same thing with Ghostbusters. There, how many of the Empire Strikes Back really wasn't that popular? Freaking articles that did we see in the last 2 years? It's like
I hate that shit.
oh my
God.
Fuck right the hell off. I was there. People couldn't stop talking about it.
the only problems I remember people having, and Rob knows what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
is that they left on a fucking cliffhanger, and you had to wait 3 years to find out whether or not Darth Vader was lying or not. And people weren't used to that shit. You weren't used to not having a film that was self-contained. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they wanted more. It's like, oh, fuck this. We want the next episode. We want the next part. We want to know what happens. What do you mean he's the father? What happened to Han? What?
Yeah,
what
all these questions were left open. Bond had sequels, but at the same time, those were self-contained movies. Each movie was like, yeah. But I mean, this was the first time, like you said, he left it on a cliffhanger. And that moment when the bombshell drops, it blew me back in my seat. I was like, I couldn't, my 10-year-old brain couldn't process it.
Yeah, I mean, before this, you had, like you said, Bond and even Planet of the Apes. Even those had
Godzilla.
connected sequels and Godzilla and all them, but they were still all left to where they could be self-contained by the end.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, you know me and Bond. I always try to pull myself back before we get into a Bond tangent. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, we got to
me-
have our Beverly Hills Cop show, and Robin, you got to have your Bond show one of these
podcast,
days. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You and me both, man. Oh,
What we got to do is, I actually watched Beverly Hills Cop yesterday when I was doing some laundry, so I'm like ready to do that. When I get back from Ohio, we'll come up with a title.
Did you see the new Blu-ray with the couple of deleted scenes that are on there?
I haven't had a chance to pick it up, but I will get one.
Oh, speaking of Blu-ray, Ford versus Ferrari is out on Blu-ray today. Damn it, I forgot to pick it up.
Oh shoot, yeah, I forgot about that.
That was a good movie.
Well, I was
Really?
hoping that, well, Steve, to keep this short because I know you're on Super Chats, Voodoo wonderfully will do a thing because now that they're owned by Walmart, a lot of their movies, you can pre-buy the digital version and then have the discs sent to you when it comes out. And it's like the same price. You pay nothing extra kind of thing.
Oh, that's awesome.
But it's not on every movie. And unfortunately, Ford versus Ferrari was one of them. So that's why I haven't got it yet. But yeah, it's like Paramount and Lionsgate are some of the few that don't really do it. That's not true because I did get Rambo that way, but yeah, it's been how I've been buying most of my movies lately. It's because I get to watch the digital version right away, and then I get the disc in the mail when it comes out. So it's like I have both, which makes me happy. I'm a physical media kind of guy, so
Yeah, I love this movie so much. I'll buy anything they make of it. So I'm going to get the streaming version and the.
Well, I was pissed that you don't get the streaming version of Beverly Hills Cop because that's the only way you can get the 4K version. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, I knew that you couldn't buy it on the 4K disc. It just was like a streaming version. So,
but I thought at least this would have a code for that, and it doesn't.
That's disappointing. Yeah, I got to pick this up. Dion will be like, "Oh, you got another copy of it?" Seriously, I own it on every format except CD.
I do too. So. I actually have multiple copies on Blu-ray because I got the foreign release because they didn't release 2 and 3 here until now. On Blu-ray, so I had that. So I had all 3 Blu-rays, and then I had the U.S. release of Beverly Hills Cop as it was. So, besides the DVD and tape I had before that,
I'm trying to think of like the one movie I own a bunch of different copies of is probably Yellow Submarine. I own a Blu-ray version. I own.
Oh shit, that's not even the one I own the most of. Don't get me started on like Evil Dead movies or.
Well, they release a new one of that every year.
That's what I'm saying. Halloween or Evil Dead movies. God, I've got.
And
so
they're
many
why I
copies
stopped buying physical media. I think because they were just releasing too many of them.
I don't mind if I'm upgrading. That's the
thing. I got tired of like, okay, this is my 3rd copy of this. I'm done. But I like physical media. I prefer it, but man, I just get tired of having so much stuff.
No, it's understandable. But anyway, we went off of rails. Go ahead and shut me up, Jeff, so you can get it back to your super chats.
Oh, that's cool. Swinging Cod just wanted to let me know. Sorry for the lack of trying to kill you Sunday. I forgot it was my girl's birthday, so I spent time arguing and getting drunk myself.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I hope everything worked out for you, man. We go back and listen to the stream and drink with us when we drink. You'll be drunk very quickly. Rock Nate says, follow Birds of Prey 5. All right. I don't know. Is Birds of Prey 5 something else? Like, is that the...
No idea.
Silverman says they took the Black Canary literally.
Bird of Prey 5 is a YouTuber.
I was going to say, isn't that a YouTuber? Yeah.
Right, yeah. Ain't That Trucker knows him. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Bird of Prey 5. Yeah. He's good. He's a good guy.
I was just like, oh, okay. I thought that was like
that's what I thought too for a second. Yeah. And then what was the next one after that? Because I had a comment, I think, for that one.
But... Black Canary is literally black.
Yeah, well, isn't that Juicy Smolier's sister too?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going up on charges.
Yeah, somebody said he was indicted on like 5 new charges or something like that in the chat. I don't know how accurate that is. But...
We're gonna talk about him tomorrow on the show. I don't think the High Council audience really wants to hear that, but yeah, on tomorrow night's show we'll be talking about him and a couple other things. Joseph Bienowitz says Lawrence Fishburne, Hugo Weaving, Dennis Quaid, Michael Keaton, and Vince Vaughn. And I'm guessing those are for his picks for Lex Luthor.
Lex Luthor. Michael Keaton would be really interesting.
Oh yeah,
he'd be scary.
And it'd be kind of a callback to the fact that he was Batman, and then like kind of like Gene Hackman playing Lex Luthor kind of thing.
Who's gonna say, "What about Idris Elba? Where do I vote?"
Up your ass. That's where you vote. Idris Elba is overrated.
Like it's a fucking all-star ballot, you know? Come on.
Let's see. Alpha Terranima says, LMAO, it's Venom versus Lady Gaga fans all over again.
La la, oh la la.
So I didn't know that happened, that Birds of Prey fans, or not Birds of Prey, Venom fans and Star is Born fans went at it.
I didn't either.
Yeah, I think they did for a little bit. I don't remember what happened there though.
That's news to me.
It was something where all the Lady Gaga fans were supposed to be out there trying to tank Venom because they wanted Lady Gaga to get more.
What benefit? What benefit is there to trying to tank them? Okay, you're pissed off. Your movie didn't do well.
It's like they're the investors or something hiring marketing accounts.
I always say, yes, I want the stuff I like to be popular. That way I get more of it. But you know what? If it isn't, it isn't. There's nothing I can do about it.
Mm-hmm.
I want Matthew Sweet to sell out Giant Stadium, and I want Celine Dion to be turning tricks on 8th Avenue. But come on, some things are beyond my control.
Who's to say she isn't? I mean, we can't prove she's not. She only has one song.
Who?
Celine Dion.
Oh, she has more than one, but yeah, as far as like one that everybody remembers her for. We're far wherever you are.
David Foster, you're on my list.
I mean, come on, who wouldn't pay for that big Pez dispenser head of hers? Really.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You want to get head from a Pez dispenser? What?
What? Did you see those oversized Pez dispensers they have now?
No.
I've already seen
Drunk 3PO has the one of 3PO, but yeah, there's these big old ones. And then now they not only do they have those, they have like Funko Pop head Pez dispensers that are huge too, I think.
Actually, those might be kind of cool.
Yeah, you pull them out instead of it, instead of getting just one little Pez, you get a whole package of Pez when you bring it up. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, they need
jumbo. Yeah, I've seen those.
They need jumbo Pez now, though. Pez. I don't live very far from the Pez World headquarters. Actually,
I'm sorry.
No, Pez is actually pretty cool.
I know. I'm just fucking with you.
They need to make cola Pez. I like the cola flavor.
I don't like the candy, but I like collecting the little doohickeys.
I got a set of Star Trek: The Next Generation Pez dispensers.
I got a bunch of Star Wars ones, but anyway, we're derailing this again. Back to the super chats.
I used to have a lot of the Star Wars ones in the 90s, back when Star Wars merchandise was exciting.
Yeah, back when Star Wars was good.
Yeah, I think I have like a Batman and Superman one too.
Have you?
Others, yeah.
Jeff, have you seen any of the? Have you gone to like Walmart or Target or anything to see the size of the Star Wars section in the toy aisle?
You mean like the barely there section?
There's nothing left. I went to my local Walmart. There's nothing left. A couple lightsabers, one Ray Black series, and like a Jawa, and that's
because it all got moved to the clearance aisle.
Did you check the clearance over by the garden section? Yeah,
I should have. Yeah, I didn't.
Where it all is.
Man. It's right next to the Captain Marvel dolls. I counted like at one. I brought this up on that one other High Council, but yeah, I had 3 different stores. They had a bunch of different Captain Marvel dolls on clearance.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go to. I think I need to run get set at Walmart tomorrow, but I'll have to check. I'm like, it's fucking sad, man. I remember G.I. Joe, Transformers, and Star Wars used to dominate toy aisle.
Well, we were talking about this. They didn't have shit this year for Star Wars. They didn't have a Rise of Skywalker line.
Who was gonna buy it? Really?
Well, all they had was in every one that I went to, they had this little center standy thing where they had a bunch of these classic anniversary figures where they're all gold.
Yeah.
Like who wants that crap? They had a bunch of the cartoony characters, and then the Black Series ones, and that's it.
And a few of that D.O. bot thing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, the Black Series had a couple of figures from each. Yeah, and you covered that, Jeff, where it had, I think it was 8 figures in the one set or whatever, and only 2 of them were for Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah. I don't remember the exact numbers off the top of my head, but yeah, the vintage collection.
That's it, the vintage collection. Yeah, I can't remember which figures there were, but yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Joseph Benowitz, Disney recalls merchandise and destroys it. Yeah, they get to write it off in taxes. Yeah.
Well, did you see what they're putting out now? The Imperial Troop Transport, which was a vintage toy from 1978. They put it in The Mandalorian. They make a new version, and now they're releasing cases of stormtroopers. So, I mean, they're just going back to the classic stuff to make money, folks. Disney, much. They have to. Come on now.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm okay with that. Give us what we want and we'll buy it. I mean, if they would have had Baby Yoda available, I would have bought him already.
Oh, just a clarification. When somebody said, I said the 90s when Star Wars was good. Yeah, you had the Faces box set. You had the Super Nintendo games. You had all those awesome PC games. You can talk about 90s Star Wars pre-special edition, the Zahn trilogy. Maybe it didn't age well, but the Power of the Force 2 line was awesome if you're a 6-year-old kid and you got the entire Star Wars collection, Millennium Falcon, X-Wing, TIE Fighters, all that shit. It was a damn good time to be a Star Wars fan. And like I said, that was all pre-special edition stuff. So before Lucas did his stuff. Yeah, in 1999, you had the episode 1 come out, and I stopped liking Star Wars for a minute. But hey. Let's see. Oh, crap, I opened the wrong app on my computer. So our friend Zarkon D. Grissom says, removing eye candy because the actress didn't want the gays. They didn't bother canon checking. Preach views. They insult fans, aka repeat buying customers. I'm noticing a trend here. LOL.
Why would he not want the gays? They're fabulous.
Dude, all joking aside, I want Harley Quinn to be fully covered in the red and black. That's what I want to see. With the white face paint and all that shit.
Yeah.
I don't know why they would go this. I call her a neon hooker in our video, so
it's not
like this chick. Like this chick.
It's for the
There's
hot
actually a
topic
good
crowd.
cosplay out. If they would have given us this, I don't think anybody would have. Yeah, I think people would have been like, "Who's that?"
It's all for the hot topic crowd.
Yeah, more
That's
cosplayers.
my fetish, but yeah, it's just a cosplay. But still, I mean, it's better than the movie.
I agree.
They couldn't do that. No, they want to make it so, Harley Quinn's just in a dirty t-shirt and shorts. Okay, fine. That's fine. You don't want to sell costumes. You just want, I don't know what they wanted with this movie.
Nobody knows.
No, and that's why they're only made $33 million. I mean, that barely paid what? That didn't even pay to cater that thing, probably.
Well, and they're reporting a $97 million budget, so it's at least twice that, if not at least another 50 million more. But our good friend Matt Kadish, he got piled on for talking about how the cast looked, and then you turn around and you had someone, one of their own, Mendelsohn, said, "Well, I mourn for the days of the head to toe Harley costume." Nobody piled on his ass for saying that.
She was more covered up with the old outfit too.
Yeah, and she was. I don't know. I also have the weird disconnect. If it's not Arlene Sorkin's voice, I just don't want to hear Harley Quinn talk.
Yeah, what's her face did okay afterwards. Tara
Strong,
but it was just basically a copy almost. So,
Mr. J.
Whoever did the maybe it was even Tara Strong. She did they did a Batman the Animated Series revival movie called Batman and Harley Quinn or something. I did not like that one.
Oh, that was the one with the chick from Big Bang Theory. That thing was horrible. Yeah. No, not her, the other one.
Miss Roush.
Yeah.
Yeah, I turned that one off. It was on Amazon last year. I was like,
I did a review of it for it was not too long after we came After Dark. Well, no, it was a little bit after that. But oh god, that movie's horrible.
Tom, have you seen Batman Ninja yet or not?
No, I have it, I think, but I haven't seen it. But no, yeah, the Harley Quinn movie, there's a fart joke that goes on for over a minute.
Seriously?
Seriously.
No, thank you. So, who is on screen right here?
Kelly.
Mrs. Ethan Van Sciver.
That's Rose Tico, Mrs. Ethan Van Sciver.
I've met the real one. She's a lovely lady.
I'm sure she is.
Oh no, they were fun. We went over there and well, there's a stream. You guys can check it out.
Yeah.
But so Kelly Marie Tran has broken the silence on her reduced part in Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker.
Gasp.
I know, right? There are always going to be people who aren't happy with that. So while opinions on Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker were mixed among fans, most could agree that Kelly Marie Tran's Rose Tico being pushed into the background after such a prominent role in The Last Jedi felt out of step with the franchise. Do we all agree with that? I don't.
There's no evidence of her. There's not a screenshot. There's not a thing. I have articles written about the death threats I've gotten. There's not a screenshot of one bad thing anybody said to her.
No. Other than me saying that looked like she was eating a Panda Express.
Everybody eats a Panda Express.
I have a gift card in my wall to Panda Express. You guys want to go? Let's get the honey walnut shrimp.
Panda Express is some good shit, man.
Yeah. But
not as good as Tuk Tuk Thai.
No.
By the way, did you see her at the Oscars?
Yeah, I saw a picture. Yeah,
She looks way different in real life. Much better.
Well, they have this thing about making pretty women ugly. You
Well,
know,
yeah, it goes back to the
even-
whole Birds of Prey thing they were trying to do. And
Yeah.
Well, they also can't make anybody look better. Nobody can upstage Ray. I mean, that's the other thing.
But everybody upstages Ray, even C-3PO.
That's right.
So the actress has, however, responded to fan criticism in a recent interview by saying she was happy with the overall role she played in a galaxy far, far away. When you're in something of that caliber, there's always people going to make something out of love. And no matter what you do, there's always going to be people who aren't happy with that, Tran told MTV News during the Oscars. Far from being unhappy about her time in the Star Wars universe, Tran said, "I'm really grateful that I got to be a part of it. I think I'm just amazed by the way that director J.J. Abrams was able to sort of wrap all these incredible stories. There were so many characters. I got to be a part of something bigger than me, and that's something really special." While Tran didn't bring up the possibility of some of her scenes being left on the cutting room floor, we don't care about Dominic Monaghan. So, yeah, I don't want to see an extended cut. So I think Kelly Marie kind of handled this and whatever the right way, tactfully. She's always just kind of like, yeah, that's my thing. Boom. Especially with this movie. Have you guys seen anything else? Have you heard anything else from her in regards to The Rise of Skywalker?
Not really, no.
No.
They had that one like interview where they were like egging her on to talk about all the shit she dealt with online, but then she navigated it towards what her original op-ed was about anyway. I know Mecca's been more deeper into that shit though, so.
Mhm.
Well, okay, Mecca, sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm looking at a tweet of her too to see if she says anything. I'm looking at one of her tweets where somebody interviewed her here.
So she her character came back unlike DJ. It's funny how people like another monster in the chat was like, whatever happened to that character? The thing is with Rose Tico felt really, to the contrary to this article, she felt out of place in The Last Jedi. You know, she was just like, oh, I'm this, what was she, like a steam operator or something? And she just has this like huge prominent role in the film. Can't really help out, and then almost kills our heroes. I don't like the character Rose Tico. I never have. You know, her toy's the worst selling in history. This, that, and the other. But I've never had an issue with the woman that played her because she's an actor playing a role. And if people paid attention to the way we talked about stuff, you know, I don't dislike Daisy Ridley. I just think Rey's a shit character. I hate Kylo Ren. I think Adam Driver is a cool dude. Wish he would have won an Oscar. So I mean, there's always that distinction that people have, but I don't think we do. And, you know, hopefully this chick comes out on the better side of Star Wars. Let's be honest. Mm-hmm. How many actors that appeared in a Star Wars film came out better? I mean, we're talking like big stars. Harrison Ford. It took years for Mark Hamill to get something. Carrie Fisher had some roles. Billy D. Williams was already established before Star Wars. And then you got like Ewan McGregor, Natalie Portman, and what's his face? Oh, God, why can't Liam Neeson? They were all either in prominent stuff before Star Wars or kind of just maintain their momentum post Star Wars.
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, it seems like the only ones who ever seemed to be cursed were like the main actors. Like Mark Hamill got like the short end of the stick. It kind of seemed like,
yeah,
when it came career wise afterwards. Same thing with Hayden Christensen.
Mark Hamill was in a car crash actually shortly
between
after.
the films. Yeah. But no, I mean, he of course went on to prominent voice work and stuff. I don't want to say like he like dropped off the radar or anything. I'm just saying, you know, like compared to what Carrie Fisher and Harrison Ford went on to achieve afterwards, Mark, you know, least. And then same thing, you know, look at like with Natalie Portman and, you know, Ewan McGregor, the type of movies they were able to go on and do afterwards, and Hayden Christensen really dropped off the map.
Well, Natalie Portman and Ewan McGregor were famous before. Now, keep in mind,
kind of, yes.
This is Kelly Marie Tran's first movie was Last Jedi,
right? And yeah, but my point is that the Star Wars films catapulted both Portman and Ewan McGregor into damn near the A-list, to where they were starring in films for the next.
Oh, Ewan McGregor already was A-list though.
I don't know.
He was
the only thing he'd really done before that was Train Spotting, and that's the thing is, yeah, it was big in the indie circles, but it didn't make him like a well-known name. Portman, on the other hand, was a little bit bigger, maybe even than him at the time.
Yeah, she was also doing like the really critically acclaimed stuff though too before that.
He was in Train Spotting. He was also on an episode of ER.
That's what I'm saying. He wasn't exactly like a big name star or anything, but it was like one of those things when he was casted, everybody's like, "Oh yeah, he could do it." That wasn't a big problem.
But I mean, the point I was going for is like, yeah, Star Wars is this huge thing.
Sorry.
Oh no! Don't apologize. This is the conversation I was getting at, though. Star Wars is this big thing, but it's not a star-making thing.
No.
It's Harrison Ford. Yes, Han Solo was his breakout role, but he had been in stuff for years up until Star Wars. Nothing of huge prominence. I mean,
Well, and you could even argue that Indiana Jones was probably bigger for him.
Probably.
He also had Blade Runner and around the same time, and
yeah, he went from like Empire to Raiders to Blade Runner back to Star Wars. I mean, that's a really, and then back to Indiana Jones. That's a great run.
Mm-hmm.
And like, if you watch his interview on the Empire of Dreams documentary, he knew that the movie was a hit. Like, he knew it was going to be successful. And so what he did is he said himself, these are his words, he's like, I took as many roles as possible because he didn't want to get typecast. So if you look at post Star Wars, he was in, was it Force 10 from Navarone? He's in Apocalypse Now. He's in this shitty movie called Heroes with Henry Winkler, where he plays his slow brother. Like, Harrison Ford was slick. What Mark Hamill was like playing Luke Skywalker on the Muppet Show and stuff post Empire and doing
he did a floppy movie called Corvette Summer that was more of a cult hit now than anything. Yeah,
with Annie Potts, actually. Yeah,
that's right.
Oh, I found actually one of Kelly Marie Tran's prior work to The Last Jedi. Anybody here familiar with the web channel, with the YouTube channel College Humor?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
She was in a short called "Are You Asian Enough?"
Oh, for God's sakes!
Yeah, as quote unquote full Asian. There it is. I'm sending you right there in the private chat.
No.
Oh God, and there she is. She's sitting on a panel.
Here's the thing with Kelly Marie Tran. I think she's
That's
I think she's a very, very naive person of the generation that probably got awards and trophies for everything. She got to Hollywood and was all of a sudden told, no, you're not right for this part, over and over and over. And what parts does she write for? Full Asian chick, is the part that she's right for. So I feel terrible, but that's that's how it is. You're not a 6 foot tall Amazon looking woman like Gal Gadot. You're not a tall, skinny blonde like Brie Larson. You're
gonna play
woman, and you're very beautiful. Don't get us wrong, but
I mean, you're pretty much gonna you have to resign yourself to playing the best friend, the girl sits behind you in class.
Unless you find like that right movie about a Vietnamese family, or that right movie that hits the right thing, that is, it doesn't matter what ethnicity you are. Like, she could be like the lead chick in a chick flick about some secretary who's trying to find love. She could easily do that type of thing. If you can put Amy Schumer as a lead in a romantic comedy, there's no reason.
Stop talking about such bullshit.
No, I don't like Amy Schumer. And
Bill Hader got gonorrhea just standing in the same room with Amy Schumer.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah,
I know we shouldn't summon her name. She'll come in and steal
my vagina.
Do you remember when they were going to make a Barbie movie with her?
Oh yeah. We reported on that extensively.
That genius Amy Pascal.
And then so that got canceled, and now Margot Robbie's supposed to play the Barbie doll, right?
Last I knew, but I wonder if it's still sitting in
production limbo.
Or development hell, because Margot's shooting Suicide Squad 2 right now.
Yeah. I did a thing. I used to do a thing about how to write an Amy Schumer joke. First of all, you preface it by saying what a great big whore you are. I'm such a great big whore, but you're a great big whore, so that it empowers you, quote unquote. I'm a great big whore, but I know I'm a great big whore. Then you reference a friend who's not a great big whore, so you can say she's an uptight bitch. So I have this friend. She's not a great big whore like I am. She's an uptight bitch. She's so stuck up. And then you place yourself into an unusual situation, and then you add my vagina to make it awkward. So I'm a great big whore, but my friend's not a great big whore like I am, and I got kicked out of my apartment, and I had to move into my friend's gaping vagina, and that's your Amy Schumer joke. See, now you too can be a stand-up comedian like Amy Schumer. So,
or just turn on the TV and go find
And
an
just
Ellen
steal-
DeGeneres special from like 15 years ago, and then have the
Right.
balls to tell her own joke right to her face, like the popcorn eating joke. That was great. I love that.
But Amy Schumer's, she steals a lot of jokes. She's not funny. Don't give me this shit that she's empowered. She stole Sarah Silverman's entire act. And I was never a big fan of Sarah Silverman to begin with.
Yeah, right. If you're gonna steal from somebody who's actually funny.
Jeez.
No, she's just another unfunny, not that pretty woman who decided, I'm going to go the stand-up comedy route to be an actress.
Right now, Jeff's saying, Tom, tell Rob to shut up. We have to move on with the show.
No, I just
Shut up, Rob.
I was just reading the chat. I was gonna, because people were complaining about a picture of Rose Tico. I was like, we'll show a picture of something good. I was like, we don't need
Show
to
that picture of her from like the premiere where she's in that amazing blue dress and looks like a completely different person. Why? Because they put her in a potato sack in the movie.
Oh yeah, good thinking.
And I keep bringing up, like I said, nobody can upstage Rey. That has to be a mandate from on high from crazy KK herself.
Well, she is a Jedi from Jakku.
Yeah, because Kerry Russell keeps her helmet on the entire time, the entire 10 minutes she's on screen.
I know that's probably the biggest sin of the entire film, Rob.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. That's better.
Keeping Kerry Russell's face off screen.
Look,
Beautiful actresses, I tell you.
Look, she's adorable. I mean, geez.
Just
she looks so unhappy to be there, though.
That's her. That's her imposing face. And
how long do I have to be here?
Well, you gotta remember, she's got like 50 people taking pictures.
I was in Crazy Rich Asians, you know.
She's like, I've been 5 minutes of this movie. It's literally going to take me longer to get into the theater, get into my seat, sit down, than I'm in this movie.
It took me longer to get in this dress than I'm
in this thing. Yeah, it's all night long. It took me longer to get to the limo and drive down here than I'm in this movie.
When do you think the media is going to try to spin this and say how she was suppressed and how she's the victim and all this? Like, I don't even think she cares at the end of the day.
They already are. I mean, they already have. She's been everybody's favorite little victim for the last 3 years, and I feel sorry for her in a way that I don't feel like she's feeding this at all. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm not trying to say that she's promoting this image that she's some kind of victim in any way, shape, or form. I mean, even that op-ed we brought up before, they tried to push it like it was her talking about the harassment, when really what it was, like Mecca said, was this image that Hollywood has, and like Rob pointed out and stuff like that, is that you don't fit into this image, so you're not going to get the part. That's what she's constantly been getting told all this time. So the whole article is a big slap in the face to Hollywood, and the media was trying to spin it as, oh no, she was talking about toxic fans.
Yeah.
You know, Patrick Stewart once said that because Patrick Stewart went bald at the age of 18.
I did no such thing.
Yes, you did, Patrick.
Fuck you and your mom.
But anyway, his acting teachers at the Royal Shakespeare Company said, listen, Patrick, you're not going to get a lot of parts. Okay, I'm just being perfectly honest with you. Because of your baldness, you're not going to get a lot of parts. And it took him how long? It took him like 25 years to land something as good as Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Well, he had a few chances, like with Dune and stuff like that. But
yeah. I know. But still, at the same time, though, I mean, yeah, you are going to be typecast in Hollywood. That's just a matter of fact, and it is difficult to break out of that.
Well, it doesn't help when every character is a type usually.
Yeah.
So they're always looking for a type, and those same 5 people on every list for every type of person you have in a movie usually.
I always said the only type I ever wanted to play was Oscar Madison. That was the only acting ambition I ever wanted to play. Unfortunately, it's a role I would probably fit into.
It's like that would be acting for you.
The scary part is it's more reversed. You're more like Felix, and I'm more like...
Probably. Oscar!
I don't know. I think you're both. You're both a little...
That's good.
We're out of cornflakes. F you. It took me a half an hour to figure out that F you was Felix Unger.
I love the Odd Couple. I love the Odd Couple so much.
Stop leaving notes on my pillows. I hate little notes on my pillows. Sorry.
Remember when he was whacking him over the head with the newspaper and when he was sleepwalking?
Yeah. But anyway, we've derailed this. Oh,
Yeah.
Kelly Marie Tran.
No, but I just, there's also other red carpet stuff with Ryan Johnson. Do you want to hear what he had to say?
Oh,
Sure.
why don't I have my soundboard up? Damn it.
So Ryan Johnson, they're talking. Okay, so I know this is really dark, but I was so happy he didn't win an Oscar for Knives Out because fuck that guy. But he's talking about The Rise of Skywalker. And he says, I had a blast. It made me so proud seeing the heart and soul that JJ put into it and seeing my friends who were in the movie just like bring the whole thing to a conclusion. Yeah, for me, a Star Wars fan, it was a really special experience. Mm-hmm. Ryan Johnson's not a Star Wars fan.
No, he hates Star Wars.
You don't do what you do to a franchise and call yourself a fan, asshole.
I don't like talk. Well, maybe I do like talking about other YouTubers, but Movie Bob said that The Last Jedi is a love letter to Star Wars. I said, no, it's more like hate mail. This is the equivalent of sending Star Wars a dead rat. Okay,
it's a breakup letter with the fans. What are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly. How could anyone say this is a love letter to the fans? It's a gigantic middle finger.
Worse than that, it's a breakup text.
But I thought that was. Do you think this would be the last word we hear from Ryan Johnson on Star Wars? Because
he's doing Knives Out.
Yeah, he's doing the Knives Out sequel. That's where he's focused.
He'll mention it a few more times just to remind people that he directed a Star Wars movie. I mean, he'll keep bringing it up because he's still convinced that he made a masterpiece. Well, in that tiny little brain of his.
With every bit of news we get, Mecca and I become more and more right when we said that sooner or later you're going to get to this point where he's going to say, I would love to do Star Wars. Maybe someday I'll get to do it again. But now I'm so wrapped up in my Knives Out and my little movies that I just don't have the time. And that's how it's going to end. That's how we're going to find out that Ryan Johnson is not going to make his Star Wars trilogy.
Well, now he's on Twitter not writing Knives Out because there's a contest going on for, to subtitle Knives Out 2 or to name it.
Every Midnight's Edge mini doc that I write about Star Wars, I always have to throw in a subtle dig at him. You always pick it out though.
And if you know anything from Lionsgate, once they get a hit, they are going to run it into the fucking ground because they have nothing. That's why John Wick, we've got 4 of them already. Well, a 4th one coming and the spinoff. And then same thing with Saw and a few of their other movies. They get something that makes some money, they run with it.
Well, not only that, Daniel Craig absolutely loves the character. He loves Ryan Johnson. I mean,
that was a big movie for them. Now, that would have been like an average to middling movie for most companies, but for Lionsgate, that movie was a big hit. It didn't cost them that much. And yeah, it was a runaway success for them.
Well, maybe Daniel Craig can stop being a bad James Bond and go play whatever character he plays in that shit, and we can get some good Bond movies.
Well, we already know this is
the
last one. Yeah, this is his last one anyway, so...
That I can't wait till the news cycle starts with that one because that one's going to be a shit show. I mean, the trailer looks fine, but the fucking marketing and the hype around it's going to be very Birds of Prey like.
Well, they've already started with this is not your old Bond. This is a more
woke,
feminist Bond. Yeah, all that crap.
That's going to be the next one that's going to be fun to laugh at, like Birds of Prey.
Fuck that. I want to see as much drinking, gambling, casual sex in my Bond movies as possible. Okay? I mean, it's just give me that. Yeah.
He did. He was almost 50 before he saw tits.
He's so sad.
And hey, I've seen strippers at bachelor parties. I never been to a strip club because it's kind of sad going all alone.
In a Prius.
Well, the funny thing is, he drove a Ford Fusion or something.
Mondeo.
In Casino Royale, he drove some shitty Ford. I was like, really? This is James Bond?
No, this isn't real for those folks out there who are having a heart attack right now. This is something that Rob and I put together. So.
Not for nothing. But Ford did own Aston Martin for quite a while,
and he does drive an electric car in the movie. But
yeah, with those, if freaking what's her face can see over those gigantic teeth,
Wow, Rob's on fire.
I'm sorry. She is not an attractive woman. I'm sorry.
I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying you're like,
she probably
wow.
would be. It might not be her fault. I mean, it might be the fact that we're in this day and age where they make every attractive woman look ugly.
There is that problem.
Yeah,
because even Star Trek Discovery makes Sonequa Martin Green look uglier than she is in real life.
Mm-hmm.
She is fucking gorgeous in real life.
It's like they don't like her or something.
Well, our friend One Man Army LOL says 1917 is the only good movie I've seen this year. Have anybody here seen it? Has anyone?
Mm-mm.
Which one?
1917.
No, I didn't get a chance to see it yet. But yeah, we're gonna get to the Oscar stuff in a little bit. I'll have a lot to say about the Oscars it's probably not gonna be very popular opinion, but.
Well, McKinney90 has a fun point. It says, if Sonic becomes the Joker of 2020, where it ends up grossing over $1 billion, it'll be one of the biggest salt mines we'll ever witness.
I don't know about it being the Joker per se, but I mean, how many big kids movies have we had in the last couple decades that weren't Pixar or Frozen?
Lego Movie.
Okay, that's a good example. Okay, and then you also had the Despicable Me's with the little dudes.
Yeah, but that animation studio has been pumping out some big hits. Don't they do The Secret Life of Pets?
Yeah, that's the other thing. So it's really been kind of a one-sided thing. It's been a while since we've had one of these kind of live action meets. It's been like since Garfield and Chipmunks and all that kind of stuff. And
you know what the greatest thing about the Garfield movie is?
What?
The one line
that they didn't make a part 3. I mean, no, sorry, go ahead.
A one-liner joke from Zombieland. Any regrets?
Oh yeah,
Garfield maybe.
Yeah. I was gonna say that they didn't make a third film, but that is true. That line.
I can't believe they made a second one.
I know.
I've never seen any.
Well, the story I heard, if I remember how it goes, is that Bill Murray did the voice track for Garfield 2 from the yacht that Garfield 1 paid for. So. Like he actually did the voice work on the boat.
Jeff, you know how Bill Murray gets his parts, right? All the projects. He has an 800 number.
Yeah, you could call him tomorrow if you wanted to. Or today, right now.
It's kind of a closely guarded secret. There's an 800 number that you can call and say, "Hey, Bill Murray, this is so and so. Listen, I got an idea for a movie that we want to make. Give us a call back." It could be anywhere from a day to never. He gets back with you, and if you want to send him a script, if he's interested in a part, if you want to send him a script, you have to fax it to him via your local Staples or Office
he has
Max
a Staples. Yeah, he has he has a store nearby him that. Yeah, he's even been known to just show up unannounced. He's even been known to show up unannounced too.
We should try that.
Yeah, I'm not kidding. We thought about it. We joked about it, Rob and I did.
What's the guy who actually just come up with something really crazy and be like, "Hey, Bill Murray, how about a cameo?"
We know what we should do is if we do have one of the big fan meetups, see if he'll show up.
That'd be amazing.
No, he'd be like the guest of honor.
He showed up like in a bar in Brooklyn.
He showed up at weddings before.
Started serving drinks.
There was even a show where a guy followed him around just doing shit that he does. He just goes and does shit. Like he'll be 4 hours late for something, but that's because he went to like somebody's bar mitzvah. He went to a birthday party and then just went to a bar for a couple hours. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's what he'll do. You know, it's just he's weird like that. But who's gonna fucking say anything to him? He's Bill fucking Murray. What are you gonna do?
I'll buy him the next round.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, just gonna buy him a drink.
Exactly. Let's see if we get him on the High Council.
Yeah,
hell yeah, that'd be amazing.
That'd be the weirdest stream ever. But I'm down. Somebody find me that 1-800 number. I'll try.
Oh, I think Rob has it. But you know, it'd be funny is he'd probably have you meet him at some restaurant somewhere or something.
I'd be like, all right, sure, I'll go meet Bill Murray.
That's what I'm saying. He wouldn't come on like we are here, like this. I doubt he even has a computer in his house. Or as far as I know he doesn't have a smartphone. So, our friend TLJ Screwjob says, "I'm going to see Sonic because they listened to the fans." Well, there we go. I knew people were going to go see this movie because they changed the design. So, TLJ Screwjob, that's $20 extra right there.
Yeah, I hear a lot of that. I hear a lot of people in my comments saying, "Oh no, screw Birds of Prey. I'm going to go see Sonic because they changed it and they fixed it because people wanted a better movie."
Drake is 6 says it's Turds of Prey, the constipation of Harley Quinn.
I like that.
I'm taking a screenshot. I'm going to call it that tomorrow.
Turds of Prey. I like that.
Well, it kind of literally was. I mean, they're waiting for that diamond. Spoilers. Ugh.
I'm actually looking up.
There.
I'm looking up Bill Murray on the 1-800 directory.
I thought you already had it.
No, I don't.
Our friend McKinney90 also says, get Sonic to gross higher than the rise of Soy Walker. Wasn't it last year the Alita Battle Angel Challenge or some shit that was going on?
Yeah.
There you go, folks. Run with Sonic. Dr. Coffinail says, Great Santini, Robert Duvall, changed the title to The Ace.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that. I've never seen that film.
Oh, it's actually a really good film. It's actually really good.
I like Robert Duvall. I always think of him.
I've heard he can be a dick, but yeah.
Oh.
Well, it's actually he's a dick in his movies. You know, he's a fighter pilot.
Well, I mean, I've heard in real life he can be a real.
Oh yeah. Well, he's cast the type then.
Yeah.
That whole segment in Austin Powers, Spy Who Shagged Me, where he's bouncing the giant ball off of Rob Lowe's head. That's from the Great Santini. Oh, you gonna cry? Okay. Let's squirt some? Yeah.
I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
Hammond Studio says, Mandalorian thoughts. I dropped out after episode 5. I thought it was superficially awesome, but was dumb as hell. Hammond Studios, then you missed my favorite episode. Episode 6 was the one on the prison ship, right?
Yeah, that was 6 or 7, yeah. No, I think you're right. I think it's 6.
Yeah, like, I thought that was a damn fine episode. But overall, I like The Mandalorian. It's the best thing Disney's put out in regards to Star Wars. And I won't give the Clone Wars Season 7 or whatever the season is, I won't give that to Disney because they're just digging up old stuff and repurposing it, finishing it. It's Lucasfilm prior to the Disney purchase. So I'll stand by my statement. What about you guys?
I enjoyed it, but I totally understand those that feel like it was a little superficial, and I understand those who don't want to give Disney any money because of all they've dealt with. But again, you know, like Andre and I keep reminding people that, you know, Mandalorian was under a different regime. Yes, Kathleen Kennedy is executive producer, but look at what's going on right now and some of the stuff that we're reporting from behind the scenes that I'm thinking that there's some truth to, because look at this whole situation that went down with Obi-Wan. I mean, that was like ready and primed to go, and then the brakes were slammed. And it was like, not like there was a bunch of rumors, and it just all of a sudden happened. So I'm starting to really buy into this whole thing where Bob Iger is just basically shutting KK down, and she's getting ready for an early retirement.
Good.
Too little, too late, though.
It is. Don't get me wrong, but the point is, and I think a big catalyst of this, and that was I guess the reason I was getting to this, I should say, is I think Mandalorian was such a big hit for them that they were like, Jesus, not only did we have a great hit and people watched it, we missed out on all this money the Baby Yoda toys could have sold, and the normies are back on board, and Rise of Skywalker bombed at the box office. No matter, I don't give a fuck if it's the world's biggest $1 billion bomb ever. There's no way that movie made most of its money back if it's lucky, and it will always go down in history as one of the biggest disappointments in cinematic history as well. I mean, Last Jedi is the worst film probably, but I'm just saying, you know what I mean, box office wise.
Yeah, I agree with that, and you have damaged the brand. I know at times it feels like you guys say this all the time, but look at, if you look how. Go look through your social media feed. Go look through anything. You'll see Star Wars stuff pop up, and it seems like, oh, we're just going to scroll past Star Wars. Star Wars has overstayed its welcome, when prior to 2015, that was never the case. It was like, oh, Star Wars is coming out in 3D. Shit, I'll go see The Phantom Menace in 3D. I don't care. I'm waiting for A New Hope to hit 3D. That's going to be awesome. Or, oh, man, this is happening. That's cool. It's Star Wars. I'll go get this game. The Force Awakens is a big event. You know, when they were doing Disney or Star Wars days at Disney back in the earlier 2000s, I was like, that's a cool concept. Now we're talking about theme park sections dedicated to Star Wars. The rides break down. Nobody cares. Bob Iger, you should have done this shit in 2018. Like, this should have been after Solo. Then this woman's job should have been, up to code.
Oh, yeah. And, of course, we don't know how everything is set up as far as, she's the head of Lucasfilm. I mean, yes, Disney owns Lucasfilm, but they still are their own company, and she is, she has her responsibilities as a president, and he has his responsibility to allow her some autonomy to be able to do her job, But what she's proven is she can't do her job, and what you're getting to, and what is true, is he's taken way too long to clean up the mess. He should have gotten there sooner. He should have jumped in sooner. It shouldn't have got to this point. But we also have to remember as a audience that it takes 2-3 years for a movie to get off the ground. So there will be adjusting, but it'll take some time. And that's kind of what Andre was getting to in his postmortem for Birds of Prey, to bring that back up into the subject is, this movie is a product of a time that is obviously bygone. And I'm sure Hollywood's going to try and change their direction, but it's going to take us some time to see that.
Well, look at what Trevor Noah was going on about. I did a video about that this last night that I put up this morning, where he's like, "Oh, all the woke stuff's over." Like, no, you're just trying to jump ship to the next trend because you suck. That's all. I know Rob has a lot more to say about Trevor Noah, so I left half of that from his video.
I can't stand that motherfucker.
He's what, the Daily Show, right?
Yeah.
I haven't watched it since Jon Stewart left.
I gave him a week, and I said, this guy's a moron. He's not funny. Oh, good Lord. He's not funny. All he does is run a clip, giggle for like a minute, and say, I don't understand. Why are Americans so stupid? It's not like that in South Africa.
Oh, he's Balky?
Balky Bartolomeu, yeah.
Don't be ridiculous.
So he's sitcom. Okay, I got it. His Daily Show's now just a bad 80s sitcom.
Tom, I feel like if we tried hard enough, we could get Bronson Pinchot on this show.
Yes. And I want to know the answer to whether or not Perfect Strangers was really meant to be Surge the series.
Surge went into witness protection.
Surge.
Sounds like
when you say that, it sounds like a detergent.
I actually know somebody named Surge.
Surge.
I keep wanting to say that to him, but I don't think he's ever seen it.
Surge. It's got a rule off the top.
Hello, I'm Serge. How may I be helping you?
I'm looking for Miss Jenny Summers. She's very busy today.
One moment.
One moment. Who may I say is calling? Achmel.
Achwell. Foley is here to see you.
I like how I just give up. It's like Foley is here to see her.
How much does something like this cost? Oh, this piece is a very important piece. Yeah. I just saw that yesterday. Get the fuck out of here.
No, I cannot. I'm serious. I said it myself.
Get the fuck out of here.
Oh my god, he's fun. I do like in the third one when he's trying to sell the Annihilator 2000. Like Jackie Stallone bought one.
Are you kidding? I've sold so many already.
Speaking of money, our friend Girthy guitarist SD actually makes a good point. I know, Tom, you covered this earlier, but $1 billion minus 40% shared with theaters, minus $300 million production, minus $200 million advertising budget. They made maybe $100 million, which won't pay the interest on what they bought the franchise for.
Yeah, and that other $100 million gets scattered over. Yeah, they're not in the red, or they're still in the red on this movie. There's no way they're in the black. I mean, yeah, with what you're saying there in the math, yeah, that's close. But you got to add in the advertising too. That he did with the 200 million, and that's not just here though. They did it all over the world, and they've seen even less and less return depending on the wherever they were in the world too.
I just can't believe that we can have a discussion on how Star Wars failed with $1 billion, and it's not like bullshit.
Well, and $1 billion. To be fair, well, sorry, Mac. I was just going to say, to be fair, the new billion is the new 100 million. Yeah. It used to be the movies always tried to hit that 100 million mark. That was the goal. Now the billion is that new 100 million. Sorry, go ahead, Mecca.
No, I was just gonna say it should have been it should have been making Endgame money because they kept pumping it up like, oh, it's selling and it's outpacing Endgame and all these. It's like, no, it's really not.
And 300 is what they're actually advertising as the budget. We know it's got to be at least another 200 million.
Mm-hmm. Plus, plus the advertising, marketing, all of the press tours. I mean, they gotta fly all those people out to, the like the Graham Norton show. Graham Norton show isn't usually picking up the international flights for all these people, is he? Or is it?
That's the BBC, probably.
Probably is. Never mind then. But still, they're flying all these people all around the world to promote the movies, and they're doing all these.
Well, the BBC gives them a budget.
That's true.
They have to fit within that budget because the budget, the two most expensive shows the BBC had at one point were Doctor Who and Top Gear, and now Top Gear is no longer the case, and Doctor Who's probably had its budget cut at some point.
Top Gear is such a good show.
It was. Do you watch the Grand Tour?
No, I watched it when it was not new, but like I watched it years ago with my friend Joel because I didn't have cable, so I'd go over to his house and watch shit. So I just like that lifestyle, cars, cool shit like that.
I just watch them on YouTube anymore.
Yellow Flash, how you doing? He comes in a flash. Didn't even see him come in.
What's going on, everybody?
Hey.
What's going on, Yellow Flash?
Good. Just got back in. I saw you sent the link a while ago. I didn't know you guys would still be on or not.
Yeah, we just we were talking about Rose Tico. We're reading some super chats, and we're going to talk about the Oscars in a minute. Have you seen this Birds of Prey news?
What is it this time?
Yeah, this time.
Shit.
Oh, is that real or is that like a bunch of interns trolling? Is it because I only saw a couple of pictures of people saying what were they saying? Like, oh, there's some kind of like homophobic slur or something.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, did you hear about the tweets? We read about a good half dozen or better of them, and they're all
my kids and I were in the theater with my husband, and there was all of these Islamophobic things in Sonic, so we got up and watched Birds of Prey.
No, read the best one. Read the best one where Sonic actually turned the kid gay. I'm not even kidding. If you have it handy, Jeff. If not, I'll paraphrase it. But
what happened? He got up and started singing show tunes. I mean, what's?
Oh, you weren't here yet, Rob. That's right. Yeah, they're all the same thing. My family and I went to see the movie, and it was full of tons of homophobic. You got it?
I'll read it. It says, this is the stock one. It goes, I took my husband and 2 sons to go see the hashtag Sonic movie and was appalled to hear homophobic slurs used throughout the movie. Luckily, Birds of Prey was showing in the next room, and my family had a much better experience.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Even though Sonic's not out yet, mind you. But the best one, yeah, read the best one, because most of them are like that. They're pretty much a variation on that.
You mean the one about how I went to watch Sonic movie with my little brother, and there were really racist and homophobic scenes? So because of that, we went to see Birds of Prey, and we loved it. My brother said we should all be gay and do crime.
Oh my!
I've been having so much fun with that movie, man. Every day there's something. Like yesterday, the name change yesterday, and then the coronavirus. They blamed low sales on the coronavirus.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Like, what's next? I saw Geeks and Gamers put a video out saying that more men went, which I mean, I
made a video on that too. Yeah,
yeah, it was a 53 or 54%.
Yeah, now I'm seeing 54%.
Yeah,
because men were the target demographic of this movie, right? No, they weren't. You were telling them flat out, stay home. Well, what did they do? They stayed home. Well, so did women.
Women that are fans of comic book stuff like it for the same reasons the guys like it. I mean, I don't see why they're trying to cater to this fandom audience that isn't interested in this stuff in the first place.
It's the Funko Pop audience, like Mecca calls it.
Said so.
It's these women who like to have Funko Pops on their desks so that men can start a conversation with a guy, and they really know nothing about these characters. And I run into them all the time on Twitter. Like just before this movie came out, I got into I don't know how many arguments with the same freaking. It seems like they're all the same person, but it could be, but I doubt it. But it's always like this late teens to early 20s girl who loves Harley, wants a relationship like Harley and Joker and doesn't understand the character one bit and was sticking up for this movie. And it's like, do you even really understand the character? And it's like, they're like, oh, I hate it when they try to challenge a woman's knowledge of a character and blah, 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 blah. It's like, it's a simple Google search.
I mean, you can just go to these DC Wikipedias for movies and for comics.
Period. Yeah. They're just anything. Yeah.
Oh, the writers on Star Trek can't even do that. You expect some teenage girl to do it?
Oh, that's what pisses me off about my own kid. It's like, this generation, and I have the right to bitch because I got an 18-year-old now. They don't get it's like if we had these phones with Google and everything on it when we were kids and we were in school, we'd be the smartest motherfuckers in the world. Because we'd have every answer at our fingertips. We weren't allowed to use calculators. These kids got not only calculators in their hands, but they got an encyclopedia, an instant news source, a television, whatever else you can, video games, music.
Well, we had GeoCities.
Oh, well, I know, but I'm just, it's just you're a little younger than I think I am, Flash, probably, I think, but.
I'm used to being older than a lot of people.
Yeah, I know. Mecca and I are closer in age than Rob's the old guy here. He's the boomer.
What did you say? What did you say?
He's literally an okay boomer. So those who are saying,
no, he's
okay,
not. He's still Gen X. I mean,
no. Well, he was born in Gen X, but his parents were actually from the baby boom era. So
no,
they're the baby boomers.
No, my dad was actually 16 years old.
Oh, that's right. He was too young for World War II. So yeah. You're right, Mecca. I apologize.
He was 16. My father was 16 years old. He was
for some reason I was thinking he fought in World War II, but no, he was just there. That's right. My bad.
He got captured by the Germans. They came into the village. The Nazis came into the village in Italy, and they lined up all the men, and they lined them up, and they felt their arms, see if they were strong enough to work. And they went down one, you. And his mother was crying, don't take my boys, because he had 4 brothers too. Don't take my boys. And they said, if we don't take them, we're taking the women. And then he was put into a work camp. He would go get water every day. The guards would be there with the MP40s, get water. One day they let him go by himself because it was raining, and he escaped. They caught him, same deal. They let him go by himself. He escaped. So, and he never talked about it a lot. One day it was raining. He was pounding on the church door. He was saying, "Father, let me in. If the Germans find me, they're going to shoot me." The priest said to him, "If they find I let you in here, they're going to shoot me." And then it was a farmer down the road who said, "Come with me. I got 7 sons. What's one more?" And so he slept in the barn for a few months. And then General Clark liberated Italy, and the Americans came in. He said they fed him. They gave first time you ever have bacon and eggs was when the Americans came. So.
I didn't know that about you.
Yeah, well, yeah. My father's from Naples. From
okay.
Yeah, and my mother was born here, but her family was from Italy. So.
Yeah, that's why we always give him shit. We call him Mario without the mustache.
It's me, I'm Mario.
I guess we didn't have time to talk about that stuff in Vegas when we're having.
Not really, no.
Football,
music blaring and.
Well, and that's like the more recent trip too. Like Rob and Jeff.
Oh, that's right. You guys talking about that's right. I forgot all about that.
Yeah, when I was stuck in the stupid airport that whole day, I'm like, and that's probably why I got sick so bad because I got maybe an hour and a half sleep because my flight got delayed Sunday from like 2 p.m. I was supposed to be there at 2 p.m. on Sunday. I didn't get there until Monday at 7 a.m. because of the flight. Like, it was awful.
But yeah, so back to the super chat I think we were on is like, yeah, the whole pop figure audience thing with Harley. They don't get her. They don't get the character.
Hot topic crowd.
Yeah, I think that's the super chat we were on.
Well, our the guy in the chat, James, was like, "Yeah, you want a boyfriend that beats you up every day." Yeah, the Joker Harley Quinn relationship's terrible.
That's a horrible relationship.
Look,
not that much worse than
throws her in some acid.
It's like Raylos. They get into. You would think that would be something to deter them, but no. I mean, they've already seen this with Raylos. They're the same way. They justify this bullshit in their head.
Yeah, I'm trying to show you guys a good comic. If anyone ever says you want a relationship like Harley and Joker, you show them this comic right here, and it's only a couple bucks. Make them buy it, and there you go. They'll stop right there, Mad Love.
Yep.
That's great.
I would say you want to blow their minds and say, hey, you know, all these male movie execs, they're trying to get you to submit because they want you to be good little abused women. You like that character now? Because all these 40-year-old white dude male executives in these studios want you to be this way.
Well,
they just re-released Mad Love in hardcover, by the way. Like
Well, I'll have
a
to
couple
check
months
that
ago. It's really, really nice. I
I'll
picked
have
it
to
up.
get that. Thanks for letting me know that. But no, before you got here, Yellow Flash, and I think even before Rob got here, we were pointing out that this movie would have even been better as far as Birds of Prey goes, had it really been truly the emancipation of Harley Quinn from the Joker himself. Because that's really what the movie kind of is predicated around is. Did you see the movie?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know what I'm talking about.
There were some things that I liked in it, and there were some things that I didn't,
So
I don't
you know
think
what
I
I'm
hate
talking about,
I don't think I hated it as much as most people. I think it was great though. I thought it was pretty, whatever.
Oh, I hated it. I fucking hated it. And Andre and I seem to see a lot of the misandry and
There's male bash crap all over the place in that, yeah.
It just I don't
It
know.
seems
But
to be
other than
stuff
that, no,
like that in every movie.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't the worst thing I've seen. I mean, there was some decent enough stuff.
No.
It wasn't a good movie, but it was enjoyable in places.
Like I thought the Huntress stuff was pretty funny.
Right. Well, that's what we said is the Huntress should have been either getting her own movie or that's what the movie should have been more about, since it is kind of her story and she gets shoved to the back end of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't feel bad for this movie. They did this to themselves with their for a whole year running around saying, "Oh, Ewan McGregor, I'm the chief misogyner," or whatever he's saying, chief misogyner, and you got talking. We're going to deconstruct the male gaze. Like
that's what I'm saying. It's there, but yeah, it's they've dulled the edges. I said earlier, you can tell this movie was edited down from what it probably was originally.
Mm-hmm.
So, we got some bot in the chat I'm trying to remove. So,
I didn't even know.
Oh, that's been a big problem.
I've been pretty good at that tonight, but
oh no, it's just another one. Sorry, I wasn't trying to because it's not letting me look at the other window. They're not popping up. So,
did you get this webcam streams one too?
That's what I was hoping to get.
Oh, you already got it. Okay.
So, let's see. Our friend Batgoat says, "Do you have any mods? Wrench me, bro." Batgoat, we do. It's just been weird because like when YouTube updates, the sex bots come back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and then
I've noticed that.
But I know Tom and Mecca have them, and we're trying our best to keep that shit out. But it's like I said, every time they update the website, you'll get a whole bunch of these popping up, and it'll just be like, "Oh, great."
Well, I've seen a few more wrenches now than we had earlier when this was first sent. So,
yeah.
Shout out to Star Wars for Life.
Yeah, I was just going to say she's here, but
chat.
He's here now. So.
I see him a lot. I see him a lot in Ethan's chat and in Nick Ricada's chat a lot. So it's like you ban him, and then just a new one that just comes right back almost instantly. And a lot of them talk normal.
Well, I guess what they do, and this is what I found out, I think it was yesterday or whatever, the day before when we were on the main channel doing it because we got hit with them. I guess they copy whatever somebody else said in the chat. So then it'll paste it like 3 or 4 times over.
Mm-hmm.
That's new.
Josh Nelson says, I asked my mom what she thought about the Oscars and if she thought it was woke. She didn't know what woke was, but she said the actors kept giving odd speeches.
Is that a good segue, or was there more we had to talk about the Kelly Marie Tran thing? Or did
I think that's a good. I'm going to read Dr. Coffindale's point about Kelly Marie Tran, and then we're going to talk about the Oscars, and then we're going to go home because we're, we've had a good show tonight. So Dr. Coffindale says, favorite Oscar moment: Kelly Marie Tran getting down to Eminem. Adorable. How did Disney make this woman so unlikable in Star Wars?
They don't like women.
I was say, yeah, she does seem like a very sweet girl too from all the interviews. So I don't know what they did to this, why they made this character so unlikable.
And she can come hang out with us. I live down the street from where the Oscars was. We'll go get tacos.
Because don't you dare suggest Panda Express or you'll get all kinds of.
I'd like to Me Too her.
That's why I wouldn't suggest Panda Express.
Yeah, me too.
Did you see they released Beavis and Butthead figures today?
No. Where? Give me.
Reaction, those Funko reaction ones.
Oh, yes, I knew those were coming. I didn't know they come out now. Oh, shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna go order the rest of them.
Payday. Come
They got
quicker.
Burger World ones too.
Oh, I seen that. Yeah.
Oh man, I got too much stuff. I can't buy stuff.
Oh, Beavis
Who
and
made
Butthead.
'em?
They don't do enough. Funko Reaction
know.
would be Super 7. I think does those now, don't they?
It's like Dark Crystal stuff. There's not a lot of that either.
Yeah, Funko did a Funko Super 7 or whatever did a few of those too for both the original I think and the new.
You know what
Dark
doesn't
Crystal.
get anything merchandise wise these days? Inspector Gadget. They've been showing their figure forever. It's coming out. It still hasn't come out. But I can see 100 different I mean, I understand why Batman's way more popular, but still. Can I get my one Inspector Gadget, please? Thank you. So the Oscars. We did an Oscars stream. You guys can find the links in the description of you can find the links over on Twitter and on our Facebook page. It was a drinking stream, so we were making fun of a lot of the stuff. It's a very raw world-class bullshitter stream. But Mecca, what were your thoughts on the Oscars? Did you watch them or no?
I was just watching them on Twitter, like seeing who won and seeing what crazy stuff happened. That's about it. Like most people, because there's a record low.
Do you guys all know about Natalie Portman though? How she's only
Oh,
hired
yeah.
herself as a director.
Yeah, I made a video on
That
her,
very
yeah.
awkward interview with her where she's like, "These are all the names of the female directors that were like this year that didn't get nominated."
Yeah, you hire male directors. You have no room to talk, lady.
They're all white men too. All of them are white men.
I love it. This is why we're so frustrated with these woke, stupid award ceremonies, and this is why people are turning them off because people don't care. We're tired of being preached at. Get up on stage, do a performance, tell me a joke, dance, sing, act, pretend to be something you're not. This is what your job is. Your job is to entertain me. If I wanted a political speech, I'd watch the politics conventions that they've been covering on Twitter lately too. And I don't care about that stuff. There's a reason why I don't, there's a reason why I cover entertainment and not politics.
The age of the celebrity is dead.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, because we're in the day and age where YouTube people are getting more exposure than some of these people.
Well,
I have more followers than Doge from Star Trek Discovery, I think, or at least I did last week. Whatever that girl's name is.
Isa Briones. I'm curious why I have more followers.
Well, no, I watched your guys' stream, and then eventually I'm like, you know what, I gotta watch. I wanted to watch it anyway because it's the first year and God knows how long we're actually seeing most of the movies that were nominated for Best Picture and so on. And so I was watching your guys' stream while watching it live through YouTube. Like I signed up for a free 2 weeks of their YouTube live TV, and like, fuck it, I'm gonna watch this with them. And the show itself was boring as hell. The only thing I gotta say about the whole thing, and I know people are probably gonna get pissy with me and try and call me a lot of names over this, but I don't think Parasite should have been in the Best Picture category since
I haven't seen it yet, so I can't comment.
And it has nothing to do with how the movie was or anything like that. It probably could have been the better movie than all those movies, but to me, all these other countries have Academy Awards already. You don't see like Joker getting nominated for like the Korean Academy Award.
Yeah, that's that guy got in a lot of trouble. With
Yeah,
the way he
and
worded
I
it.
said the same thing too. And there was another
he had a
couple
fair
people.
point, though. I mean,
Yeah, it has nothing to do with whether or not the movie was good or not. It just, to me, it's like, okay, so either the Academy is saying that nothing Hollywood made this year was good enough, or people are misunderstanding where, like me and a few other people are trying to say this is, to us, the Academy Awards are for Hollywood / American, North American movies, especially since Canada has become a big part of the filmmaking community as far as American films now. I will, grant it, we should include, North America quotations because of that. But otherwise, to me, I guess it has to do with English speaking, whether or not it's in the foreign category, nothing else, which, okay, fine. But if there was no Hollywood connection or American connection to the movie, it kind of makes me scratch my head and go, but should it technically be in the Academy Awards? Because without it being in the title, these are the American Academy Awards. That's why there's the British Academy Awards. That's why there's all these other countries have their own Academy Awards. And to me, it takes away from movies like Joker, like Irishman, like all the others that probably had a good chance of winning this year had that movie not been in both categories. That's all I'm saying. It has nothing to do with, the movie itself. And I'm not saying that a foreign director can't come, to make a movie in the American studio system or anything like that. I'm not even saying anything about, a racism or xenophobic type of thing, which has been pinned on this opinion. My opinion is that you need to pick your spots as far as these movies. And if this is the way Hollywood wants to go, I think Rob hit it more on the nail on the head as far as like, he felt it was more of a sign to China and all these other Asian countries that, give us your money more so than anything.
Well, the only thing people seem to really like that movie. There's people that
and the
really
movie's
love
really
that
good.
movie.
Could be really good. I have not seen it yet.
I haven't seen it either, so I can't comment if it's good or bad or what. I'm gonna watch it eventually.
But that's not
movies,
yeah.
I just wanted Ford versus Ferrari to win something. I think they won. Editing they deserved, and then I wanted Joker to win some awards. As happy.
Well, we've gone all this time where the Weinsteins pretty much bought up the awards for so many years to where every movie, everybody complained that the problem with the Oscars was, I've never seen any of the movies that are nominated. And that's a very fair.
I bet you a lot of them haven't seen.
That's a very fair argument that most of the movies for many years were movies that nobody had ever really seen. You had all these movies like The English Patient and crap that nobody gave a shit about. Now, granted, there's probably people in the chat who love that movie. I'm not saying you're wrong for not liking that movie or for liking that movie or anything like that. What I'm saying is it used to be that the Oscars had a good variation between independent movies that people had seen, movies that deserved some type of recognition that were done within the studio system or around the studio system, things like that. You always had, for Christ's sakes, Ellen Ripley, Sigourney Weaver got nominated for Aliens, for Pete's sake. Would you see that now? That was why I loved that the Joker, that Joaquin Phoenix got nominated for the Joker, and the Joker even got nominated for Best Picture. I was rooting for it, and not just that, but other movies in the same category that I feel like, that my point is like this: 10 years from now, nobody's going to remember Parasite in the United States probably, but everybody will remember the Joker.
You mean like how Annie Hall beat Star Wars for Best Picture?
Yes, exactly. And it doesn't speak to how, I'm not saying, and that doesn't say that Annie Hall isn't a good movie. I doubt it aged as well.
I'm glad Rise of Skywalker didn't win anything.
Oh yeah,
same here.
The only one I wanted to maybe see it win, but I was just happy that Joker won it, was for score, and that was just because I think this is John Williams' last movie, and just for him to win an Oscar on his last movie, and I think that would just add one more to his record, because if I'm not mistaken, he's won more Oscars than anybody else in history, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he has.
For Walt Disney.
Walt Disney won 4 in one show. Personally, that I know is a record, but other than that, I'm not sure. Somebody will have to. Yeah, it could be Walt Disney. You could be right.
To your point, though, did you see that factoid today that Avengers Endgame is the only film to ever be credited as the highest grossing of all time and have 0 Oscars?
In the major categories, yeah, because E.T., Jaws, Star Wars, all those movies all got
Titanic, all of them had, Oscar wins, and I don't think did Infinity War even get a nomination for Best Visual Effects?
I think it did.
Okay,
I think that's the only category it was in, wasn't it?
Yeah. I don't. Either way, I didn't think that. Like, Endgame's fine. I don't like it as much as, but I don't want to get into that tonight.
No, I wasn't so upset about that. I was more upset about the fact, like you guys said, we had a lot of movies this year that were really good. We had Ford versus Ferrari, which Mecca and Rob liked. And did you see it, Jeff?
That's great.
You said you loved it.
I just bought it today with a 4K one.
I bought it while we were just talking 5 minutes ago here. I don't have a lot of money, but I'm getting that movie because I've been wanting to see it. And same thing. I loved how Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and I loved The Irishman, and I loved The Joker. So this is the first time in a long time where I can remember rooting for several movies up for best, probably since 90. Well, it'd be the 95, but 94 year where they had Forrest Gump, Shawshank Redemption, Pulp Fiction. Oh, what the hell else was there? Was a shit ton of really
Lion King.
Good. Lion King. No, I think that was a year or two before that, but I could be wrong. You could be right. It could have been Lion King that year, but I think Lion King won Best Picture, so I think it was the year before because Forrest Gump ended up winning. But there were so many great movies in that year that was like, just God, that's the last time I can remember where we had this jam-packed. Maybe a couple of years ago when we had Dark Knight and a few other movies come out that people had actually seen, but I don't even think then there was that many. But that was because they changed it to where they could have 10 Best Pictures, right, Rob? That year,
yeah. There was They changed the. It seems kind of arbitrary that they would change the rules, though. But they did start nominating more films.
And I get it, and I know there's an argument to be had as to whether or not the foreign category is just for foreign films or foreign films that don't have English speaking in them. And 1917 itself was a British film, but again, I reiterate, I have this thing where they need to be more clear on that, or if not, to me, that's sending a signal from Hollywood, because those are the people who vote on the Oscars is Hollywood. It's the peers, the people that are in these movies that make these movies that are giving the awards. I guess they're saying that nothing they did this year was good enough, which to me just is astounding, because this is a great year for movies. Last year was for, anything non-sequelized and shit.
Well, like I said, first of all, it makes them giving Parasite the award for Best Picture allows them to A, pat themselves in the back because look, we're so supportive of diversity, and B, and people got pissed at me for saying this the other night, it rewards Asian investment. And I don't make any apology for saying that, because Hollywood is now awash in Asian/Chinese money.
Oh, big time!
It's one of the reasons. It's one of the reasons why Star Trek 4 isn't getting made, because the Chinese
I was going to say
Paramount,
it almost killed Paramount Pictures.
Oh yeah,
when they lost their Chinese investors.
I mean, look at how many movies.
That's why the merger happened, folks.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's why they merged Paramount back. That's the main reason. That's kind of it. Yeah.
And like I said, Hollywood's a wash in Chinese money and Asian money. I mean, they're going to do everything they can to show them, oh, look, when a Korean movie got Best Picture, please back the truck up,
MGM's the same way. Most of the stuff they put out is pre-bought and pre-made by. That's why Child's Play was considered a somewhat hit, even though it didn't make no money. It was prepaid for.
I still want to see that one.
What's sad about it is it could have been a decent movie and even a decent start to a new kind of horror franchise had they not made it Child's Play. Had it just been its own thing, because that's what the detriment to the movie is. They keep kind of remind you that this is Child's Play. And yeah, it could have just been a really cool movie about a neat little, new little android that works with your security system in your phone and all that stuff. The smart toy.
Kathy Coleman says, this is the best Star Trek. These comments are like vegans trying to sell someone who eats meat how a hamburger should taste. Or a vegan trying to tell someone how a hamburger should taste.
Right.
I just go old Star Trek. I know I don't have the most popular Star Trek opinion in the fandom menace, but if it's not Captain Kirk and Mr. Spock, I'm really not that interested.
I love the original series more than anything, but I do like Next Generation a lot, and I like Deep Space Nine. But the original series, I mean, I was up in the morning before school watching that reruns. So that's always going to be special to me.
I popped on an episode the other day. It was the one where they get that visor because the guy is in that weird box and you can't look at him, and the lady is trying to take over the ship. I love the original Star Trek.
This is going to sound like such a stoner thing to say, but I just realized after all this time that they should not have Beastie Boys in the new Star Trek movies, because in the song Intergalactic, they actually mention Captain Kirk and Mr. Spock.
They do. That's right. Did they play that in the movie? I don't know.
But they have two other Beastie. That's the whole thing with Kirk, is that he loves Beastie Boys, which would be the equivalent of some kid now driving down the street blaring Mozart through their subwoofers, basically.
True.
I'll blare Bulgarian folk music. I don't.
Well, yeah, but you're weird like me, and I would listen to soundtracks and stuff like that when I'm driving. But most average teenage kids aren't going to be listening to Mozart. They're going to be.
They're going to listen to what new thing is.
Whatever the new thing is. Yeah.
What's all they listen to? All they listened to in Next Generation was classical music.
Yeah, but they were a bit more refined too, for that matter. And you had certain callbacks here and there to certain things, but yeah, the whole thing. I just thought of that for some reason. I don't know why. Sorry, that was a very stoner moment.
Well, Seth MacFarlane said that the reason why everybody, listens to Journey and contemporary Billy Joel in the 25th century, that they're in on the Orville, is because when you watch
They're
Buck
fun.
Rogers, and they try to portray contemporary music for the future, it always sounds really lame and really dated.
Yeah.
So,
Joseph Bienowitz says Disney recalls merch and destroys it. I have a video of that, folks, on the channel. If you want to see actual Star Wars merchandise being taken back, they destroy it and they sell it for whatever it is, textiles or something else.
I have referred so many people to those videos when they say that, oh, but the toys are still so. No, they don't.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
Textiles are probably more profitable.
Exactly. The plastic you can get from those figures to melt down and repurpose is probably more valuable than a Rose Tico figure.
Well, Ethan bought most of those.
I actually have more than him because listeners sent me pieces of them as a joke. Seriously, I have probably 50 or 60 Rose Ticos still. I don't want them, but I got them. Maybe I'll bring them to Star Wars Celebration.
Yeah, just bring them to like put up a table and just here's your free roast Tico.
Make a Rose Tico human centipede to compete with Cecil's.
Have you ever seen that video I made, the Tower of Tico? Where
I've
I
seen
think so.
that.
Yes.
I've seen that. Show was
Oh, the
funny.
one. Yeah. I
You
know.
were in what's that
Dude,
store? Ollie's? Were you in Ollie's doing that?
I was going
Ollie's
to for that one, but I do go to Ollie's a lot.
Oh my god, I don't know if this is true, but Cat Metal just said in the chat I got banned from Goodwill for donating too much Star Wars.
oh man,
Quit giving us Star Wars shit. We can't get rid of it.
Yeah,
Well, I
even
mean-
kids who are like would love to have toys don't want those.
We got a free bin out front. Next thing I know, I turn around for 2 seconds. It's fuller than it was the second before. People are bringing shit and putting it in the free bin.
When I give away, like, because I do donate to that, what is the one where the soldiers give toys away, Toys for Tots or whatever?
Tots, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I'm cool with that. I'll give stuff every year, but I don't give like crappy Disney Star Wars stuff. I usually just buy superhero stuff. A lot of Marvel
Yeah.
crap. Because I figure a kid's gonna look on TV and go, Iron Man's cool. So there's your Iron Man or whatever. Or like when I buy my friends' kids' Christmas presents.
I mean, if you'd have told me 20 years ago that Disney was going to buy Star Wars and Marvel for that matter, not that it mattered, but Iron Man was going to sell more toys than Star Wars toys, I would have laughed in your face.
no way. Yeah.
Well, I got a video coming out about all this stuff, so just be on the lookout. All right, I got some.
Hell, even just over 10 years, just before Iron Man, even went after. Hell, I even give you the benefit of even after Iron Man came out, I still laughed in your face.
Yeah. Let's see. We got Logan Michael anti-Funko Pops. Logan Michael, I'm glad to hear from you, man. We got Toy Fair coming up, so I feel like we'll be talking a lot. Hasbro will be making a Marvel Legends retro Spider-Man wave. Thoughts? By the way, NECA TMNT movie figures are now at GameStop.
Ooh, the 7 inches are back.
Yeah,
Oh,
That sounded so wrong.
retro Spider-Man line.
Well,
Phrasing.
like 7 inches.
Give me them 7 inches. No, I've got the 12-inch figures of the TMNT ones, but I have not gotten the smaller versions.
One of our listeners, Salvador, sent me Leonardo to the PO box, so I have to go and get the rest of them now.
Oh, they're amazing. Oh, you got the smaller one or the bigger ones?
The smaller ones.
Oh, I haven't seen the smaller ones yet, so I can't really speak to them, but they look just
They
like
look great.
miniaturized versions is what they look like, yeah.
The I bought the NECA 2-packs. They're based on the cartoon/arcade game. Those are some of the coolest looking Ninja Turtle toys I've ever seen. I'll send you a link later off air.
I actually got one of those 1-up machines for $150.
Nice.
The last toys I bought was Scarlet Spider, Ben Reilly, Marvel Select. You know what I'm talking about? The Select ones.
I do.
And I got a Superior Spider-Man, the really nice ones that you have to get like from the Disney store.
Mhm.
That's it.
I loved that Superior Spider-Man design. I mean, I wouldn't like it to replace the basic Spider-Man design, but I liked how the eyes were like dimensional and you had
I liked that whole run a lot. I knew it wasn't going to be permanent, but everyone was mad about it. Like, they're not going to leave Peter Parker dead. I thought that was a fun concept.
I read and bought every single issue, including the spin-offs. I loved it.
Good, great. Yeah, it's awesome. You're one of the few people that I've talked to on here that likes it. I always have to defend it. Like, I thought it was such a cool idea. The bad guy wins, has a change of morals, and wants to be, a better Spider-Man. I thought that was really original.
Oh, I thought it was great. And the part I loved is when when Peter Parker takes back over the body and he fights the Green Goblin, and he's like, "How do we know it's really him?" And he makes some kind of joke directly to his face, like, "It's him." And then it's Spider-Man. I was like, "All right."
Is that Jesse sneezing in the background? Tell her bless you.
Yeah, it was such a great run. I remember so he took over the raft and turned it into his spider headquarters and stuff.
Yeah, like I said, I loved it. He had that girlfriend. What is it, Anna Maria Marconi?
Yep,
doctor,
the little person.
Yep, it would be, lambasted today because Marvel would go on and talk about how we're trying to represent all people from different walks of life, but it's like it's just a good character. I don't care what it's like. It's like when Peter Dinklage played Bolivar Trask. I didn't care because Peter Dinklage is a great actor. I didn't go, oh, he's small version. It's Bolivar Trask. So cool.
Yeah, she was great. Everything in that was great. One of the last good comic book runs that I like, and I think Dan Slott's it's funny he had to write a not a Peter Parker for him to do a good job finally.
Yeah, I'm just glad people in the chat are. Some of them seem to be into that storyline. I was a fan. Like I said, every issue I bought every single one.
I was excited, like looking up spoilers and stuff. That's like I haven't done that in a long time.
No,
I wanted to know, like, how's he going to get his body back, and like, what's he going to do next? The only run I didn't like in that was when he the Venom stuff. I thought was kind of forced.
Honestly, looking back, I don't even think I recall the Venom part.
Yeah, I just know that he gets the symbiote for a minute. I think I can't remember the details, and that's why, because it was the weakest of all of it. Everything else in there I loved.
I enjoyed what was it when he didn't fight the Beetle? Never mind. We'll talk about it another time. I definitely want to have you on and talk about comics and stuff.
For sure.
Stuff. But Logan Michael, I did read the rumor of that Marvel Legends Retrowave Spider-Man series, and every figure in that rumor I would buy. Actually, I posted on Facebook today. If it's real, I'm buying the whole set, so I'm excited for it. Our friend Modalicious says Kathleen Kennedy spun gold into straw. I agree with that. Reverse, was it Rumpelstiltskin?
Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
Logan Michael Anti-Funko Pops also says Dion took his kid to see the new Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Halfway through, Dion was offended by the fact that it wasn't Terminator Dark Fate, so he took his kid and
But did it turn Dion gay?
You want to know a true story about Dion? Every time he has an account, his wife names it to Dion's gay. Like, so if you go to play one of their video games, it'll just say Dion's gay.
I love his wife, and I hardly even know him.
Hillary's great. She was on the Oscar stream, folks. If you want to hear her, I accidentally defeated her dream. She was trying to make a Lincoln joke, and I killed it. And you can just hear her become deflated on air. So
I'll tell you guys, there's nothing more attractive than a woman with a sense of humor, though.
They're great because there's nothing worse than just a boring partner in general.
Exactly. If somebody you can goof around with, joke around with, who gets the joke, who's not easily offensive, or offended, or you can't offend, you know what I'm saying.
Oh, believe me, I'm in a situation where it's always fun. So.
Oh yeah, you too. Yeah, Jessie's great. I mean, I only met her for a short time, but she seems like she's pretty cool.
Well, we'll have more Fandom Menace meetups. I mean, there's a lot of stuff we got, that we want to do, folks. So. Just keep your eyes peeled. Dan Ramos has the best message of the night. He says, yeah, well, in my day, we wanted a relationship like Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man. Unmarried with a kid, and we're always terrorized by ghosts causing overeating problems.
I bet you there's tons of oral in that relationship, too.
A lot of what?
A lot of oral in that relationship. Mom, Dad, knock it off. I'm trying to sleep.
They get into food play, cherries.
I gotta go. Yeah, that's the noise. You don't have the whipped cream? Go to the store.
I want a T-shirt that says that I want a relationship like Miss Pac-Man and Pac-Man. I always think of that scene from Wayne's World. What's the difference between Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man? Well, Miss Pac-Man has a bow in her hair.
Get up,
dude! Did you see the Super Bowl commercial with him? He looked really rough.
Who?
Brian Bill Murray. He's Bill Murray's brother.
Oh yeah. Well, he's getting old.
Oh, of course. But I'm just saying, like, I was like, that's him. Holy shit! I didn't recognize.
I want to say he's like 10 or 20 years older than his brother almost.
Oh, I didn't know that. Sure.
At least, how much older is he, Rob? Well, there's like 4 boys in the family, and he's the oldest.
Yeah.
And I think they have there's a big gap. I think.
Yeah, there is. Joel Murray, I think, is the youngest. I think
Joel is. I think. Yeah.
Oh God.
Well,
Brian Doyle Murray is 70. Yeah, Brian Doyle Murray is 74.
Bill Murray is 69.
Okay, so there's not. I guess they are closer, but I guess Bill Murray is one of the older brothers. Then okay.
Mexican Iron Man says, "Hail WCB! Great job Sunday night. I was hungover for 2 days. Great show." Mexican Iron Man, I'm glad you had a good time. I had a great time. I haven't really hit it that hard for a while, and I went to an after party, and I did not end well for me. So you guys can imagine what that means. Have you ever seen Team America World Police?
Of course.
You remember when? Remember when what's his name? Gary's in the alleyway.
Where he's puking for like 20 minutes.
That was me.
Oh man.
I got into a hot tub, foods and shit and other stuff, and it just did not end well. I woke up on Monday, and I was like, "Why?" It was
I love that movie.
It's fun.
I even have the soundtrack.
So does Jesse. We listen to it every once in a while.
Everybody has AIDS.
I like the montage song. Even Rocky had a montage.
I love it when they use the montage song on South Park too. Yeah.
Okay, we're at the end of our show, folks. We have Logan Michael, Anti-Funko Pop. Thank you very much. He says, NECA should really have gotten the license instead of McFarlane. Or instead, McFarlane is okay, but they've only made one good figure, and they screwed up the Batman, the animated series, Batman. Well, Logan Michael, to jump off your point, I do agree NECA should have got it. I guess they just didn't have the money. But in my opinion, if you want the best Batman, the animated series figure, you go to DC Direct, DC Collectibles. They did the whole set, or the whole lineup. They even have Alfred in the Batcave, a Batmobile, a Batwing. They're like a 6-inch scale. They're PVC. They're really great looking toys. I swear by them. So
I've seen those. Yeah, those are beautiful.
You know what's sad is the only McFarlane toy I ever remember having is the little Nicky figure.
I bought those at the dollar store.
Exactly why I got them, like because they were on clearance or something at like Suncoast.
Hold on. Yeah, McFarlane toy. Where the heck did I put it? Carry on.
I wish I had some of his horror ones, but yeah, sorry. Yeah, I know you got to get going, Jeff. So
I showed this. I showed this to Mecca the other night too. I got the.
Now you just
what the hell happened? The McFarlane vacuum monster from Yellow
Turn
Submarine.
it on its size. You can actually see it, Rob. There you go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were
From Yellow Submarine, yeah.
I have Paul, and I have an actual Yellow Submarine from the McFarlane Yellow Submarine series. I got a bunch of Metal.
Those.
I got pretty much all the Metal Gear Solid figures too.
I loved their old Metal Gear Solid figures.
Those are so nice, aren't they?
Yeah.
Everything McFarlane did with toys is great. Comics, not so much.
No, not anymore. All right, folks. Well, we've reached the end of the High Council this evening. It's been a fantastic night. Like I said, tomorrow night, World Class Bullshitters will be back at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, back from our usual Thursday because I have to go back to Ohio. So before we go, Mecca, tell everyone where they can find you.
I am Mecha Random 42. I've got a channel. Just click my name in the chat here. And yeah, got a video coming soon. And the quicker we can get it to 1,000 views, the quicker they might have a chance of monetizing. I don't know. That's not gonna happen because it's YouTube. But yeah, watch all my videos, or else I don't know. Or else I'll be sad. How about that?
Tom, Midnight's Edge After Dark, my friend. Where can they find more of you?
Well, of course, you can find us over at Midnight's Edge and Midnight's After Dark. Midnight's Edge After Dark, where you can find more of Rob, Mecca, and I a couple nights a week, just goofing around like we have here. And I had a fantabulous time, so thank you so much, Jeff.
Dude, thank you for joining. I always love talking to you about our stuff. I feel like if we hung out again, we would go off on tangents for hours. So
I've been trying to get you on After Dark, but I know the time schedule. So one of these days we're just gonna have to stream when you're not busy. You're just gonna say, "Hey, I'm not busy." I'm like, "All right, let's stream."
Deal. All right, I was on there the one night when I think Robert Meyer.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
great time. Yellow Flash, man. I'm sorry we didn't get to talk as much. I feel like we have a ton to talk about in the future, man. So tell everyone where they can find you.
Oh, you can find me at Yellow Flash 2 on YouTube. That's the best place.
Great shit. We always try to get you on as much as possible too, and never seems to work out.
Yeah, I was out a lot today. I got back and saw you guys are on. So when I can, I jump in.
Oh, of course.
Wait, what happened to Yellow Flash 1?
Oh man, that was
we don't talk about Yellow Flash 1.
Okay, it's a long story.
I have no idea.
I was doing comics on my original channel, and then I was doing, the regular stuff like I'm doing now, just talking about woke articles and stuff. And that channel blew up. I didn't think, how do you even know? So now I'm stuck. Yeah. I don't want to change the name because I feel like it'll hurt me. I just leave it.
All right.
Like I said, folks, I will be having an after party over on Mindless Entertainment. We're going to be doing what? Are we playing Truth or Dare?
Truth or Dare.
So we're playing Truth or Dare. Are you doing the Mindless Entertainment drinking game?
We're going to do a modified version. There will be drinking.
So there'll be drinking. There'll be fun. If you had fun with me on the Oscar stream, I'm going to go change my shirt to something more screen appropriate because this yellow shirt's kind of ugly. And I'll be on Mindless Entertainment drinking and playing Truth or Dare. I know we got a few more super chats from Logan Michael. First off, Logan Michael says, Pop gay and Dion has a Dark Fate Grace cut out in the corner of his Dark Fate themed room. Logan Michael, Dion's actually afraid of mannequins. So if you want to send Dion a mannequin of Grace from Terminator Dark Fate, he'll die and ejaculate at the same time. Dion's special horse Little Biscuit says moist. Darth Fatass says super moist. Dion's special horse Little Biscuit says mega moist.
Oh my.
And Darth Fatass says still can't super chat over there. I don't know where there is, but Darth Fatass, thank you for the message you just sent us, and thank you for fighting Barry the Fat Jedi. You have vanquished him. He is no longer here. He ceases to be. So I'm going to go, folks. I got a video coming out tomorrow. It's going to be another fun one about Birds of Prey. You don't want to miss it. The last two have been doing incredibly well. I'd like to thank all the new subscribers that we've had to the channel over the last couple of weeks. And Dion's special horse Little Biscuit says just moist. So yes, there's a lot of moistness in this stream tonight. Brandon Moist would be very proud. So folks, we're going to go over at Mindless Entertainment. The link has been shared multiple times. Like I said, the party does not stop. Join us, have fun. You will not regret it. So until next time, folks, be excellent to each other.